where better to kick off the year ahead than the heart of Europe, littered with canals, the beauty of the cobbled streets, bikes just about everywhere. It is the Netherlands capital of Amsterdam. And to match its beauty, the brawn is coming to town in 15 of the best male and female Hyrox athletes in the world. If last year is anything to go by, well, it's only getting bigger and better from here. Well, I said it's only getting bigger and better from here, and that is the truth. As we start our European season here in the heart of Amsterdam, the Amsterdam Rye Exhibition Centre. You walk through those doors and you go, guess what? Hyrox is back. And talking of being back, I am back alongside my bestie friend from the Rocks Life. It is Greg Williams. And Greg, we've had a whole off-season. I've barely seen you.
I know, it's been 4 long months since the World Championships and these fantastic races, and really excited to be back.
What did you do with your off-season?
Well, I've been mistaken for an Elite 15 athlete several times in the last couple of hours, so obviously been training, something's working.
Absolutely love it. Talking of those World Championships, obviously they were some of the best races we have ever seen.
Yeah. What
made them so special?
They really were, from in the men's race from start to finish, like a really great battle between 3-4 athletes really for first spot, and Ronevich ultimately coming out on top. And then in the women's race, really dominant performance from Jacoby, but that race for second, third, fourth, really exciting to the very last second. Really great races.
I feel like it really put down a marker of what to expect from here on out and the competitiveness that we're seeing from the athletes in the field at the moment.
Yeah, like dominating either of these races is really increasingly hard. Like the field is becoming increasingly strong. Like more and more athletes can compete for those podium spots, and yeah, I think that's a sign of things to come.
One thing that has changed, though, is the qualification to get here, and that is changing the fields as we know them. Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, so we're going to have 4 major races this season, plus a last chance qualifier. And in each major race, there'll be 3 qualifiers for the World Championships in Chicago. So three qualifiers, regardless of their finishing spot, will qualify for the World Championships in Chicago.
Now, it's not just those faces. It means that we're going to see people who are perhaps slightly newer to audiences at home. And that's because of this dual timing, and altogether makes it kind of a lot more fair.
Yeah, so to qualify for one of these majors, some people have also qualified based on their performances in the majors of the World Championships last season, but the remaining number of athletes have qualified based on their 2 fastest pro times in the last 365 days, and that's a change. We're getting an average of 2 races as opposed to someone being able to do it just based on 1 race.
And as James Kelly told me, it means that athletes now have an entire season in which they have to race because of this 365-day constant rotation, which means it's not just majors anymore, which is really exciting.
Yeah, athletes want to race, they want to make sure they're getting a good time, they'll be conscious of when one of their races is dropping out of that 365-day period, so it's an ever-changing situation that we've got, and athletes want to race to get those times to get into these majors.
So speaking of faces, and speaking of this race, the first major of the season, let's take a little look at that start list. Now, there is one name that stands out just because we do know her, but she's got married over the off-season.
Yeah, so Alina Boyer there on the list is Alina Villeneuve. Many people will know her as. Featured in many of the majors last season. Really strong German athlete. So yeah, she got married over the summer. So Alina Boyer now.
And of course, we're welcoming back our defending world champion in Jacoby, and of course our multiple world champion in Lauren Weeks. I mean, the battle between those two really has been phenomenal the last 2 or so years. Do we expect more of the same?
I think certainly we expect more battling between those two. I don't think they're going to have it all their own way. Like I said, I think there's lots of contenders coming in, really strong field. But those two are here again, and they're going to be really strong again, I would expect.
So we always talk about Meg and Lauren. They're kind of like this wonderful twosome of absolutely incredible athletic potential. But there is a new woman who is on our on our watch list, shall we say, in Joanna Wetrick. What do you know about her?
So Joanna, I think the last time we were here and raced in Nice at the World Championships, I don't even think she knew about Hyrox, but she's discovered it since then and put in some really, really strong performances in the Australian races so far this season. She's now the 4th fastest woman we've ever seen in Hyrox, and really exciting to see her here on this stage tonight.
If we put her as a comparative to our defending champion in Megan Jacoby, and you're just looking and picking out some of those times, what stands out?
I think on the run side of things, she is a really, really strong runner, possibly one of the strongest runners in this field. A lot of the stations, I think she's still necessarily maybe getting used to, which seems crazy for someone I'm saying is the 4th fastest woman ever. But I think it's on the station side where she can continue to improve over time and experience in the field, especially on the ergs.
Now, she has been one of our ones to watch, but over on YouTube we've put a couple up, and you guys at home, you can head to our live stream and vote yourself. By all means, disagree with us. We love a little bit of a debate to start our morning, but Joanna Wetrick is very much up there when it comes to people we think are going to have a real impressive debut season, not dissimilar to what we saw of Megan Jacoby only a couple of years ago. And I was delighted to have the opportunity to sit down with Joanna and find out just a little bit more about her.
Heading into my first Elite 15, I am so beyond excited. Honestly, 3 months ago I didn't even know what Hyrox was, so this is all very still new to me. I'm so excited to race in the grid format and against the best of the best, so yeah, super pumped. My background was running tennis and netball, so grew up as a tennis player and then transitioned over to netball in the recent years, and then only as of around a year ago I got into long distance running, so that's really helped my Hyrox journey here, but grew up mainly as a tennis player, so endless hours of training and dedication to the sport has really helped me here. Amsterdam has been absolutely amazing. This is my first time overseas, so it's been a bit of a new perspective compared to Australia. Obviously a foreign language and different side of the world. It took 24 hours to get here, so that was a bit of a shock in itself, but Amsterdam is such a beautiful city. I've been training the past week here, running around the streets, training in the gym. Everyone's so down to earth and so beautiful. And yeah, the streets, the townhouses, honestly it looks like the movies, so couldn't complain at all being here. Obviously racing in the majors now in the Elite 15 is such a cool and different experience, but again, just take it as hard as I can. I have nothing to lose, so really just go hard and see where we go, basically.
Firstly, imagine it was your first time abroad and you're competing in an elite level race. That's amazing. Secondly, I think what that shows and what Joanna kind of identifies is this trend that if you have a cardiovascular base from another sport, actually the transition into this one becomes all the more easier. Yeah,
she's only a young athlete, but the fact that she's competed at a good level in another sport for many years, she knows what it takes, and I think that's starting to transfer well. What's exciting is when she dedicates that time and energy and expertise to this sport, what can she do? Especially if she's only so young, like she's 22, and in this sport we see people, we've got people on the men's side tonight in their 40s, so she's got many years ahead of her. It's exciting to see what she's going to be able to do.
It's mad when you think of that age range, isn't it? And we do have a number of other words, Lauren, a number of other rookies taking part tonight. A few we've seen before and a few we haven't.
Yeah. So we've got Jade Skillen is another rookie we're going to see tonight, and then Jess Petro, who's made the journey from Australia. She only got the call up on Monday due to a pull-out, and she got straight on the plane from Australia and is here now to compete. So those two, as well as Joanna, are the rookies that we're seeing tonight.
And there was a reason, of course, for that late call, and it's because we've had a number of athletes withdrawing, and they're both German.
Yeah, two legends of the sport, if you like. Linda Meyer and Viola Oberlander have unfortunately pulled out in the last few days due to illness, injury. Really good contenders. They performed really well at the World Championships in Nice. It's a shame that we're not going to see them tonight, but yeah, they've been replaced, and so really strong athletes still in this field.
Another new face, Sekka Arning. She's someone that we have seen perform on various international stages, but Elite 15?
We've seen Sekka once in the Elite 15 last year in Stockholm, but I'm excited to see her tonight because in Nice, she wasn't in the elite race, but she was in the age group, and she was the fastest age group athlete on that day. By some margin, she was 2 minutes quicker than the second fastest athlete that day. She ran a 1:01, so I'm excited to see her tonight and see what she can do.
Aren't we just? Now, there is a third member of our team that we're due to introduce you to, and he is with Seka Raning down in the warm-up zone. Let's hear from Till Schenk.
All right, Zika holding up the flags as one
Ben,
of
can you unhook
three German
me with
women in the
whatever
race
you've got
here
me
today.
on? Because I'm
and
hearing
the first major of the
myself.
season is always a bit of a surprise. You know, you don't know who trained
I'm
what
hearing
and
myself
how
'cause
and
you've
so
got me on a
How
lock.
excited are you for the race today?
I'm very excited.
You know, you can
It's
punch through to me.
Totally nice to be here. So it's my first official Elite 15 race, and I'm cooler than in Stockholm, but I'm totally excited, and I'm happy to be here.
First Elite 15 race, so the big question is, how are you going to approach the race? Is it full gas out the gates, or are you going to watch the other girls, or what's the plan?
Full gas, definitely, but I'm a little bit sick since 7 days, and I hope it's not too bad for today, but I will be there at the first time. So let's do it.
Be here. Good luck, and I hope you don't feel the cold a bit.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See you later.
See you later.
Seka and Till right there. Germany, of course, was the birthplace of this sport, and it has a huge amount of athletes competing at the elite level because of that. But there's no surprise that it's also boomed in the United Kingdom, and we're seeing a number of those athletes out on the competition floor.
Yeah. The success of Hyrox in the UK has been crazy, really. The events are huge, and we're seeing that transfer into the elite side of the sport. So in the women's race tonight, we've got 4 UK athletes. We've got Jade Skillen, Jess Toll, Zara Piagiani and Kate Davey tonight. Really, really strong athletes, and it's going to be exciting to see what they can do.
Because, of course, Kate Davey in particular was one that shocked and awed, I'm going to say, at the World Championships. She qualified kind of bottom of the pack at the last chance qualifiers in 3rd place, and then was a completely transformed athlete, and at one point was running 2nd behind Megan Jacoby at World Championships on the biggest stage of them all.
Yeah,
what does that tell you about her potential?
Well, yeah, and I think she looked a little shocked in the World Championships in Nice when she found herself in 2nd place. You saw her looking over at Megan being, have I made a mistake, or should I be here? But she's looking really, really good lately. I think she ultimately finished 6th in the World Championships, but it was very, very close from 2nd down to 8th, really. She's already raced this season in Stuttgart and broken the age group world record in a 1:02. She's on a great trajectory, so I think she's a contender for the podium tonight.
That's a very cool, big call. She's also recently changed her coaching program, working under Anthony Pericini, who is, of course, Lauren Weeks' husband, and they have got a roster of almost, I think it's 4 athletes lining up on the women's start line tonight, which says a lot about what they're doing over in Utah.
Yeah. There's quite a few athletes who have really benefited from working with him and with Lauren. She's certainly one of them. James Kelly on the men's side. We've got Zara Piagiani here tonight as well, that's facing Lauren Griffith, Rebecca Nater. So they've got quite a strong stable of athletes, and Kate's certainly one of those, yeah.
How impressive is it that on an elite stage like this, that everyone actually supports one another and is like happy to run alongside and compete, yet go and have a drink of coffee the next morning and share experiences? I think it's something really unique about the sport of Hyrox at the moment.
Yeah, he's very supportive, especially on the women's side of the sport. We see, like, towards the end of the race, they come and support them on the wall balls, trying to get them over the line. I think they're all spurring each other on, I think they're all driving each other on to see the times that we've seen, breaking 60 minutes, things like that. Because there's so much competition and camaraderie between them, I think it's really pushing the sport on.
Let's head on back down to Till Schenk because he has Kate Davey.
All right, Kate, so obviously if you look around, all eyes are on Megan, on Lauren and so on, but our eyes are on you. What are your own expectations for the race here today?
I've worked pretty hard people call it the off-season. It's not an off-season, so I've worked my butt off, and I had a really good race in Stuttgart a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to go for it and see what I've got.
So you mentioned Stuttgart, so everybody goes like, oh my God, world record, in the women's category, but how does it translate to the Elite 15?
Racing on grid and racing on track are very, very different. I think when you race in a pro race, you're racing for a time. When you're racing on the grid, it's racing for position. So it's slightly different how I approach the race, but I was really happy with how Stuttgart felt. I felt good. I know where I could push a little bit more, and I was really happy with the work that me and Anthony, my coach, had put in. So,
All right, happy with the work. What result would make you happy today?
top 5.
Top 5 it is. Good luck, Kate.
Well, Kate says top 5. You said potentially on the podium. It's a good balance. Shall we average it? No, but very exciting to see Kate and the progress she's made. But if we look ahead to the US athletes, there's always that discussion, isn't it? If you fly in from another part of the world, it does have an impact on performance. But do you think as the sport is growing, that impact is lessening as people work out what works for them almost?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's something we can blanket apply to all the athletes that they're going to suffer, because some athletes don't, and I think they're all individually working out what's best for them, when they need to arrive, how they need to adjust, things like that. On the women's side, I would say it feels like the impact has been less historically in Hyrox, like Megan, Lauren, Vivian, for example, have coped with it much better than some guys from America. So yeah, I think they're all working that out. But on the women's side, I don't think we've seen it being an issue so far.
Vivian Tafuto, just one of those athletes that we so often, we know her consistency, but maybe because she's not always championing from the front, we just overlook her that tiny bit. But there's this brilliant petition happening in which she's trying to be brought to Utah to be closer to Lauren Griffith and to Lauren Weeks. There's obviously that great friendship there. But why could she be a dark horse this season?
She certainly could be. She had a number of fourth place finishes leading up to the World Championships, and then finally got that podium spot at the Worlds. And I think I know she's been working on her running an awful lot, and her potential there is huge. Whereas a lot of the athletes do come from a running background, Vivian doesn't so much, and so we don't quite know where her ceiling is with that. She's been working on it, and by all accounts she has been over the summer. It'll be interesting to see what she can do tonight.
Yeah, I'm very excited. She's just one of those personalities you can't help but totally adore, and she's with Tilshank.
Right. Into Fudo, Vivian, I was told flat out by the producer, I got to because you're one of the 3 picks for the podium today. What is your take on it?
I don't know, man. Every race is different. We'll see what happens, I guess. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to go out and race, do my best, and see what happens.
So theoretically, if you were to win the race, where would you strike?
I'm probably going to be pretty relaxed the first 10 minutes of the race, and then try to really pick it up and not slow down towards the end. I guess that's my strategy.
So just very briefly, it's been the off season, everything is a bit of a surprise. How much do you know about the competition really, where they stand?
I mean, the top girls are always good, and there's been a lot of improvement in the field, so I'm not really worried about other people. I'm just going to kind of roll up, do my thing, and see where that takes me.
All right, we're going to watch you closely where it takes you. Good luck.
Well, they spoke about competition, and competition is going to be on everybody's lips, Lauren Weeks and Megan Jacoby. It's almost kind of undeniable given their success over the past couple of years in this sport. What sets them apart?
Very little in reality. Like, we saw them, both came in favourites into all the majors last season. Ultimately, one of them came out on top, and we didn't necessarily have a really, really close battle between either of them until the finish of each race. But Megan won the first 2 majors last season, Lauren won the second 2, and then Megan ultimately took the World Championships. If you look at that head-to-head there, it looks like Megan's much, much stronger on all the stations, or has the edge on all the stations. But I think it's much closer than that graphic might suggest in reality, and it depends like who's having their day, how their training's been, how they're prepared for this race, how they've travelled. Yeah, it's very, very hard to call between the two of them, and you just don't know until the day.
Megan Jacoby is really interesting because she's doubled down on this sport. I think she's probably the only person outside of Hunter McIntyre we can call a fully professional athlete, and she has gone all in. How terrifying is that for everybody else?
That is, because Megan puts in the work as well. So the fact that she's got more time to train and dedicate her life to this sport, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what she can do based on the fact that she's a mum, she's had to work and been world champion at that level. What can she do with all the work she's done in the off-season? Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
And of course, she actually hasn't had to focus on the pressures that come with being called a world champion before, whereas that's something Lauren Weeks has kind of carried for a while. Do you think that has an impact?
Maybe. I think someone like Megan probably thrives on that.
I bet she does as well.
I think she enjoys that, and I think she enjoys the competition as well that's coming in. I don't think she necessarily wants it all her own way. She wants that battle. She's a gritty racer. She wants that competition. So I think she's going to enjoy it, and I think she's going to thrive on being world champion.
Now, on the opposite side of that coin, Till Schenk is with our other Lauren. It's Lauren Weeks. They're in the warm-up area.
Lauren Weeks. Lauren, I love it. Usually we always talk about the athletes, but let's briefly talk about the young athlete in your house. Your daughter got her own sled?
She does have her own sled. My husband figured out how to make one out of PVC pipe. So she has her own mini little sled, and anytime I'm pushing a sled, she's right there next to me.
Kind of feel like I want to have a mini sled. That would be my competition. So she's really into the sport?
She's just really into moving. It doesn't matter what it is. I can't say the sport yet, but anything we're doing, no matter what, sport or not, she's into it.
She's into it. So we got to very briefly talk about you. I could talk about her forever. You could, I'm sure. But let's just quickly talk about the race today. A bit of an unknown with the competition. You're coming out of winter. Where do you see yourself in the race?
Honestly, it's an unknown for me as well. I feel fit, but I'm not, there's a difference between being fit and Hyrox fit. I'm not sure I'm Hyrox fit right now. I will find out in about an hour and a half's time. But I feel good. I'm excited.
So, final question. Lauren will be first at the ski erg fit?
I don't know, because we have a lot of athletes that I actually haven't raced before. So I have no idea.
There you have it. It's going to be a fun one for everybody. So make sure to stay tuned.
So Lauren Weeks, not Hyrox fit, is very, very different to Lauren Smith's not Hyrox fit. Because you know she's going to be competitive out on that floor just because of her absolute base in the sport. But the one thing that we saw in World Championships that really shocked me was how much she was willing to dig in and grit through some really difficult circumstances to still finish as high as she did. How impressed are you with that performance, and what did we learn about her from it?
Yeah, she would have gone into that race wanting to win, and then at the sleds, really, she lost a lot of time against the other athletes in the race. She was well behind in the field, ultimately battled back to come second in a really, really impressive performance. The time she made up was incredible in the latter half of the race. So she's shown that grittiness. And we saw it actually as well in the Stockholm race last season. She fell behind, and then she still put in a really, really good time. We were watching thinking, oh, she's not having a great race. And she still ran one of the best times ever, really. So we know she's got that grittiness and she's got a great ability. In the first two majors of last season, Megan won and Lauren wasn't quite on it that day. So her point about being Hyrox ready will be interesting to see. Is that a trend, and does she aim to peak towards the end of the season for the World Championships? We'll find out, like she said, in an hour and a half's time.
So there are 3 tickets to the World Championships in Chicago up for grabs out there today in Amsterdam. What are the benefits of securing one of those so early on in the season?
Huge, I would say, to know that you've qualified for a race in 9 months' time and that you're trying to peak for that, as opposed to trying to race, trying to peak, trying to qualify, traveling around the world to get it. If you can secure that spot today, that's hugely beneficial.
Now, as the ladies are all gathering for their workouts, I can't even imagine how they are feeling. And Lauren Weeks put it really well. A lot of them have not faced one another before. The rookies haven't faced the old guard. The old guard are like, there are all these new rookies that we're going to need to work out. Is it safe to say this is one of those kind of days where we're just feeling out the field for what is quite a long season ahead?
Yeah, it is. And traditionally, we've talked about Megan and Lauren in the women's race going out really fast and taking the lead, and like Lauren said, we don't quite know whether that's going to happen again. There's a lot of really, really good runners in this field, and are some of the new ones going to try and take the lead and mix things up a little bit? And how will Megan and Lauren respond to that? How will all the athletes respond to that? We've seen many times in the majors that getting the lead early in the race has been important. Like that's, you know, the leader by the sled pull often ends up winning it. So that can be important. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if someone else tries to take the bull by the horns.
Is anyone winning it on the ski erg?
No, but they could lose it.
And I mean, away from this race, of course, this is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are delving into the community competition, which is still very much alive and well, isn't it, Greg? And you're racing too. Yeah,
I'm going to race tomorrow morning, hopefully. But yeah, it's a huge event here in Amsterdam. 3 days of racing after this. I think something like 12,000 athletes are coming here. It's like just a sign of the growth of the sport again. Like we talked about the UK, the Germany, but here in the Netherlands as well. And we've got a huge 3-day event ahead of us.
Have you got a stop you're most looking forward to?
On the major calendar, I'm looking forward to Las Vegas, I'm not going to lie.
Because we do have some incredible stops, and this is just the beginning, and the ladies are getting ready to walk out. This is it, the first stop of the season, the start of a long 6-month journey to the World Championships in Chicago in June. And for those taking part, they are about to take their first steps onto the Hyrox stage in 2024/5.
Make some noise, please bring to the stage Jana Lebenstedt from Germany. Jess Petro from Australia. Alina Brauer from Germany. Rebecca Nita from Germany. From the UK, Kate Davey. From Italy, Camilla Massa. From Great Britain, Jess Tell. And also from the UK, make some noise for Jade Skillen. From the UK also, Zara Pirajani. And from Germany, it is Sika Arne. From the USA, make some noise for Lauren Griffith. And from Australia, it's Joanna Visick. And from the USA, Vivian Tafuto. From the USA, put your hands together for Lauren Weeks. And last but not least, your reigning world champion, make some noise for Megan Jacoby!
To get prepared for a massive race in the Netherlands to kick off the Elite 15 season. Exactly. We are so excited. Are you racing this weekend?
Yay! Tomorrow, Women's Pro.
Women's Pro, check you out. Guys, tell me, what kind of gets you so kind of pumped up when you're watching these elite athletes race?
Atmosphere created, yeah, they're just top of the game, so it's good, inspiring.
I was going to say, when you watch them, do you try and like pull things for your own performances?
Attempt to, yeah, but I'm way off. But yeah, you have a go, but yeah.
I think you're being modest.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, it's inspiring watching them do it, the times that they do. It's great.
You guys traveling around the world and coming to these races, is it just about the racing, or is it about the community? Is it about the travel? What makes this so special, and why do you keep doing it?
community, firstly, and then coming to different places that we've never been to before. So I've never been to Amsterdam. Great culture, and then obviously the racing as well. So a mixture of everything.
I love it. Guys, lovely to meet you. Thank you for just being thrown on camera. We let these guys go and find their spots in the stands to cheer on our Elite 15 athletes. And do you know who else is going to be cheering on our Elite 15 athletes? It is the impeccably wonderful, slightly chaotic commentary duo of Till Schenk and Greg Williams. Hey, boys.
Hello, Lauren. Oh, fantastic. It looks like you're just as excited down there as we are here. Welcome, everybody, on the live stream. Fantastic to have you here at the first Elite 15 race. And we just heard it from Lauren Weeks. It's a surprise race. She doesn't know too much about the competition. We don't know where we stand. It's the first major of the reason. Greg, it couldn't be more exciting than this.
Yeah, really exciting. Really strong athletes in this field. Like you say, there's some newbies. We don't know how they're going to approach the race. Excited to see how it starts.
All right, and here we go, straight out of the gates. This is the start of our women's elite race here, the first major of the season, live from Amsterdam. And, you know, like, just look at the picture. So, are we going to see Lauren Weeks race straight out of the gates? Is she going to be first to the ski erg? Where's the competition? We got a couple of first-timers in there. It is going to be a fantastic day. 22 seconds into the race, you see it presented by Amazfit, our new partner, presenting the time here for the women's race, and Lauren Weeks taking charge. Not too much of a surprise there.
No, we often talk about Lauren Weeks going out fast, but the fact is that she is fast. She's fast throughout the race, so it's not necessarily that she always just starts out so hot. But she's, you know, it's not necessarily the lead that she takes in some other races that we've seen. She's got competition there. You've got Joanna Wettrick there on the left. We know she's a really, really good runner, performed strongly in the Australian races so far this season. Lauren Griffith just behind Lauren Weeks there, coached by her husband, Anthony Pericini, and then world champion Megan Jacoby just behind them. So, yeah, a steady start from all of them, I'd say, so far.
You know, as a German, obviously, I got a little bit of a bleeding heart here. Two of our Germans out of the race. They would have had a great shot at the top 5, if not the podium, here with Linda Meyer. You know, probably a potential top 3 favorite, I would say, in the race here today for sure. And Viola Oberländer out as well after that amazing race that she had in Nice. But nevertheless, if you look at the field here, you followed those women through the winter a little bit. How do you expect the race to unfold?
One of the interesting questions and approaches that all these athletes have to ask themselves is what do they want from this race? Do they want to win it? Are they here to try and get a podium spot to try and qualify for the World Championships? Are they just happy to be here, or are they trying to get a time that cements their position for future majors? So how their decision there affects how they approach this race.
But you know, we got Kate Davey on the screen. Sorry to jump in there. She's had a fantastic race, fabulous race in Stuttgart, setting the new open record in the women's and new world record there. Big question, of course, is how does that translate into the Elite 15?
Yeah, and I should say that's an age group world record that she got, not the overall world record. But yeah, she's clearly in good form. Like, some of these ladies are racing for the first time since Nice, like 4 months ago, whereas Kate, like you said, was just 3 weeks ago in Stuttgart and performed strongly. So we know she's race ready, whereas someone like Lauren Weeks, who was saying to you before the show, she doesn't know whether she's Hyrox ready yet, whereas we know someone like Kate Davey is, and that can give her some comfort coming into this.
And of course, you know, we asked you out there on screens, who is your race favorite? And the polls are in, and it is kind of a clear decision. So in fourth place, you got Vivian Tafudo. So we kind of like her in our top 3 as well. And then, interestingly enough, ahead of her, Joanna Wettrick. And she, like the votes from our viewers out there, she's very close to Lauren Weeks in the votings. And then Megan Jacoby with an incredible 67% is how you see her win the race here today. And she was really close going into the ski erg here right now. I know she was happy to calculate a few more seconds. You're going to see if we look, obviously, you know, we're going to judge a little bit by how we saw them in winter, how the last season went. We got to look at that duel between Megan Jacoby and Lauren Weeks, and then we're going to mix in the other fantastic women that we got in the race here as well. But if you look at Lauren Weeks, she's not the tallest athlete, so we're going to see a high rate here at the ski erg. But in terms of speed, she's going to be fairly similar to Megan Jacoby. Megan might lose a second or two, maybe not too much. She was pretty close there. And if you analyze the race of them both, Megan Jacoby probably got her strength in the second half of the race. So if she can stay close to Lauren Weeks, keep her with inside, she's in for a really good race here today.
Yeah, I mean, none of them have got, Lauren or Megan have got any weaknesses in this race, really. Megan is certainly strong in the latter half. Both of them you would expect to do the wall balls unbroken. So it is the early stages of this race that I think are particularly interesting. We saw, I was just saying to Lauren, we saw in the majors last season, really, like, for most of the majors, the leader by the end of the sled pull, the start of the burpees, ultimately went on to win the race. Not always, but very often. So they know the early stages are important. They don't want to lose too much ground, certainly.
And, you know, I think one of the big questions today is who can move in between them or ahead of them. We looked at the splits, the overall race times over the years, and the top 11 fastest results in women history belong to Megan Jacoby and Lauren Weeks. So it'll be an interesting one, but again, they were the standard in the previous season. The other women knew that. That's what they trained for. You know, they maybe took a page or two out of their training book and everything as well. Those two women, they changed up their training as well. Megan Jacoby changed training grounds. She's now spending a lot of time in Europe training as well. She didn't have the long travel over here to Amsterdam, which might be a little bit of an advantage. So one way or another, this is going to be a really, really exciting day today. About 740 meters into the ski erg, and we're seeing Lauren Griffith in the middle there, really close to Lauren Weeks. I love it how she downplayed it a little bit earlier today when I talked to her. She was like, you know, if you introduce me and you say Lauren, you got to say the other Lauren.
I think she certainly thinks she can get a podium today, Lauren Griffith. She's been working hard. We've already seen her race, actually. She travelled to Australia. I think it was the Brisbane race that she went to race in and put in a really good time. Joanna Wettrick actually beat her on that day, but, you know, what were the effects of the travel on Lauren on that day? I certainly think she thinks she can get a podium in.
All right, we're headed into the final repetitions here at the ski erg. The first workout with the judges watching carefully throughout the winter. You know, the judges and everybody sat down with the athletes. Plans were made about the rules and everything. They've gotten a little more strict, a little more enforced when it comes to technique and everything that we'll be seeing. We'll be seeing a beta version of the electronic count of the board at the wall ball. So a couple of new things, a couple of changes, a couple of clarifications throughout the winter. And the one I'm really eager to see is the burpees.
Yeah. So the burpees, the change isn't significant, but one of them is that you have to take off and land with parallel feet, so you can't have a slightly staggered foot. The judges are going to be particularly strict on it. We were in the athlete briefing earlier, and they were being very clear about what is going to be allowed, what isn't going to be allowed. And the judges are going to be watching every athlete very, very closely. And I mean, that station is hard enough as it is. If you get a penalty or anything there, that can cost you a lot of time and energy. Lauren's started out really strongly, left the ski erg really, really strongly here, opening up a gap on this run, certainly.
You know, I made the deal with myself that I'm not going to try, or I'm going to try not to think about the race in Nice that she had, but it's hard not to. You know, we've seen her, you know, that wasn't the only race, we've seen her before go out hard, feel real well, and then have this slight dip in performance in between. Usually she can recover from that, but fingers crossed. She said herself before the race, if you're just tuning in, she doesn't really know where she stands. She knows she's fit, but she doesn't know if she's Hyrox fit. And I think it's just that extra level of pain, that extra level of digging deep that you gotta be ready for mentally and have the body prepared for. Let's see if she's got that in her today. But this is she was downplaying it a little bit when she said, I'm not sure I'll be able to run away from the other girls.
Yeah, she's looking Hyrox ready so far, but it is the sleds. It was the sleds in Nice where she came unstuck a little bit. She struggled for whatever reason on those sleds, and so the gap. Let's say she's got a 10-second gap here at the moment. You can easily lose that on the sleds. You know, even just having a poor push, a poor pull, that time can quickly be made up by the other ladies. But yeah, looking very good so far.
Right, on the way towards the second workout. This is the Chasers with Lauren Griffith and Megan Jacoby that we're seeing here right now. Trailing Lauren Weeks, and then they're headed into the workout zone after the next lap. And it's just incredible. If you look at Lauren Weeks running in the front ahead of those two women, here we go, full effort, and this is high speed right now, you know, and yet she is running away once again from the competition. But we talked about it. Megan Jacoby, likely if you look at her strengths, she's going to see, not that she's got any weaknesses, but she's going to see even more of her strength in the second half of the race here today. So she just needs to keep Lauren Weeks with inside. We talked to her supporters earlier before the race here, sorry, just looking at the times. And, you know, we heard, like, it going into the second half, if everything works out well, a 10 to 13 second gap is what they think will be okay.
Okay, which isn't much at all at that stage of the race. That's very little. I really hope we do see a really close battle between the two of them towards the end of the race, or any other athletes. We've not necessarily seen that battle, you know, to the last couple of stations. One of them was always edged it. It'd be nice to see that close battle today.
I'm sure it's going to be a close battle, but now Lauren Weeks is first into the second workout here. And once again, a very warm welcome to everybody joining us just now. The first major of the season, live from Amsterdam. A beautiful kickoff to a 4-day weekend here. And it's the first stop, and we're going to see a lot of great races throughout the season. Hong Kong is one of the races we'll be seeing. Las Vegas is another one we'll be seeing. But now we're seeing the Chasers behind Lauren Weeks here at the second workout, the sled push. Lauren Griffith, you know, making up just a little bit of ground here, actually pulling away just a little bit from Megan Jacoby. And again, judges have been very, very clear about how far the sled needs to be pushed now. So the rule is not anymore that where it touches the ground, it's got to be a line where the little top bit off the sled down there is. And look at Lauren Griffith. She's made up that ground to Lauren Weeks. Megan Jacoby is doing her thing. She's right there. She's just about 8 seconds behind. Very controlled, very good, strong effort.
Lauren Griffiths is flying here.
Oh my,
absolutely
it's
flying.
Crazy. I mean, we were looking at the warm-up, and at least in the warm-up zone, we had new sleds. We had fast sleds. You know, they were very happy about that. We might be seeing fast times here. See Lauren Weeks now trying to stay with Lauren Griffith, but she is having a great day so far, Lauren Griffith.
Yeah, I was looking for clues when Lauren Weeks started to push, like how soon they need to pause. Do they pause halfway through the first length? You get a good idea for how the sleds are feeling there. And Lauren Weeks didn't pause for the first couple of lengths, but Lauren Griffiths still flew past her. She was looking really good there.
And speaking flying past, look a little further ahead, like 3 lanes down. This is Camilla Massa, who is done. It's almost like she carried that sled across here. She is first out, the Italian. What an incredible and sneaky effort by the Italian. She had such a mixed season last season. Often couldn't fulfill the expectations she had for herself. And Megan Jacoby gone past Lauren Weeks in the second workout as well. We're seeing just a little bit of that struggle that Lauren had with the sleds in these now down here as well. She is headed out back onto the track in 5th position after coming in first. Not running entirely smooth. I think that sled push did hurt her a little bit, but this is Camilla Massa from Italy in the lead now. But Lauren Griffith is flying from behind, chasing down the Italian. She is the faster runner without a doubt. She's gonna be able to catch up to the Italian on the way towards the sled pole now.
That was a 1:31 sled push from Camilla Massa there. Incredible, incredible. She was 25 seconds down, I think, on Lauren Weeks as she came into the sled push, and she's come out in first place. That's one of the best sled pushes I think I've ever seen.
You sent me the link. Camilla Massa from Italy still in the lead here. Lauren Griffith trying to come from behind. And then right behind it should be Megan Jacoby and Joanna Wittrich following her. And then Lauren Griffith, who was first into the sled push, dropped back down to 5th place. Now on the way to the sled pull. But then again, everybody, this was just the 2nd workout of the day out of 8 workouts we're going to see here. As you can see, it's really close by. If you look at the far end of the screen here, left-hand corner on the inside, the jumping ponytail, that's Megan Jacoby. She is with Joanna Wittrich right now. And Lauren Weeks, she's recovered properly. She's just behind, running about the same pace here. And judging by the looks of it, Lauren Weeks always looks like more work, but it's fast work that she's doing on the run. But this is the move now. In first with Lauren Griffith going past Camilla Massa. Lauren Griffith, incredible runner as well. She is coached nowadays by Lauren Weeks' husband as well. He's got 4 athletes in the race right now, and Kate Davey being one of the other ones. It's an interesting scenario, right? If your husband is coaching your strongest competition.
Yeah, they've got some really strong athletes in this race. She's looking good. I think they think she could go maybe sub 60 today. I think they've got hopes that Lauren Griffith can at least eventually do that. She started out really well here.
It's a really interesting running style we're seeing with her. It's literally like she's just throwing the lower leg forward. It's almost like she's literally just running out of her lower legs. Almost a heel strike that we're seeing there. It's like she's really making sure not to overexert the quads and everything right now. That's the energy you need through so many workouts at Hyrox. And look at how close. Obviously, the angle always changes everything a little bit, but this is a really close field that we're seeing right now. Rebecca Nato, she doesn't count. She's 1 lap behind as we're seeing her right now. But then you look at it. Lauren Griffith, Camilla Massa, Joanna Wittrich right behind. She's gone past Megan Jacoby.
Lauren Griffith is running really well here because she's being chased by Joanna Wittrich, who's very, very good runner. And I expected somewhat of a cat and mouse situation where maybe Joanna loses a little bit on the stations and then pulls it back on the runs, but she's not really losing much time to Joanna, if any, on the run at the moment. And then the same with having Lauren Weeks and Megan Jacoby chasing you as well. Like, again, very, very good runners, but she seems to be holding her own. Even if she did have a slightly better sled push than them, she's still maintaining that lead at the moment.
The interesting one is always after that opening lap, after the first couple of workouts, after we've been to the sleds, how does the running change? If you look at the run from Lauren Griffith, the opening run, 3 minutes 29, you know, it was just going with the other women out there, and then it's kind of like leveling down outside. 4:02 for the second lap, which is more of what we're going to see now. But look at that. It is literally within 3 or 4 seconds that we're seeing the top 5 come in here. Lauren Griffith first, then we got Joanna Wittrich, Lauren Weeks, Megan Jacoby, and Camilla Massa were down at the sled pull. And right now, we were talking about it. Megan Jacoby, she was happy to have a little bit of a gap on Lauren Weeks. She would have been happy to be behind. Instead, she is a little bit ahead or shoulder to shoulder right now as we're talking. It is a good day so far for Megan Jacoby.
This is another station where you were in the briefing till where they were very, very strict about, you know, the rules, making sure that you don't step on that back line there, making sure that you manage the rope properly. Penalties can easily be applied here, and penalties can be very, very costly. If you do step on that line, you get a warning. If you do it again, there's a 5-meter penalty that's going to be applied at the end now, whereas previously it's always been like before you finish the sled pull.
I mean, the sleds are just, that's the worst penalty you can get.
Yeah. It can, you know, we saw it cost Michael Sandbag a lot of time in Nice at the World Championships. So they're all going to be, they're all aware of that. They're all being very cautious, but it is very easily done. when you're stepping back, to step on that back line, and that you know the judges are watching them very closely.
And I mean, it's always been a thin line between, you know, race mode where things can happen, but also our athletes being a little bit cheeky at times and knowing exactly where to bend the rules and finding the gray zone. So that's been dialed in even more for this season as we're looking at it. And Lauren Griffith, she is losing a little bit of time there. We got Lauren Weeks, Megan Jacoby, they're out. Camilla Massa, she's on the other side as well. So they're pulling ahead just a little bit right now. And we're looking at after run 3 of the stand, and on the left-hand side of the screen, you see it. So Lauren Griffith in first, Ronevich 2 seconds down, then Lauren Weeks, Megan Jacoby, shoulder to shoulder, and Camilla Massa. And then it's that first get to Jana Lebenstedt from Germany. And Vivian Tefudo, 34 seconds down. She was what our production crew call one of the, they see her in 3rd overall today. So she's got a little bit of making up to do in what's to come here, but we're seeing an incredibly strong Lauren Griffith in the race here today. It's fantastic to see her. We kind of expected Jana Vitrick, our viewers did as well out there. And then obviously Megan and Lauren as well. Camilla Massa, great to see. Again, this is a very close, maybe a little closer race than we expected before.
Yeah, it is. I think Lauren Griffiths and Jonah Wettrick there are struggling more on this sled pull than some of the other athletes. So they came in the first 2. But I think Lauren Weeks, Megan Jacoby and Camilla Massa have clawed back time here. And yeah, you see like Megan's the first to leave. I think she was 4th in. She's first to leave there, so she's had a strong one. And then Lauren Weeks and Camilla Massa are leaving right now. So those first 2 come in here have certainly struggled more than those next 3.
Lauren Weeks, we're just seeing her run out looking so much more smooth coming out of this workout than she did before. She really started off the sled push, but this is straight out of the workout, out of the pull. Typical Lauren Weeks running style, so that's going to be a fast lap for her. As we're now seeing Lauren Griffith, who was first in, out of the workout. She did lose valuable time here. Megan Jacoby, there's no doubt in my mind now that Lauren Weeks behind is going to try to catch up to Megan Jacoby before the run finishes, before they head into the next workout. And she is running significantly faster right now as we're looking at, they're running behind the booth right now. So we're seeing them, Lauren Weeks making up a little bit of ground there on Megan Jacoby. She's gonna get onto the shoulder within that kilometer run without a doubt. Just quick motivational speech there from Benny Burkhardt, Megan's life partner and nutritionist. They work a lot throughout the winter on the nutrition. We're seeing the most lean Megan Jacoby we've seen throughout any of the seasons. At the same time, they manage with a strong focus on the nutrition to make her more powerful at the same time. So you've just seen from every angle, the sport is getting more and more professional. It's getting, you know, the athletes are getting more and more professional because the competition is just getting more and more fierce.
Yeah. And you said too, like Lauren Weeks is closing Megan down here. This has been a great run from Lauren Weeks so far. And this is, like we talked about, we've not had that race where they've been neck and neck. Even like this early on in the race, we've not necessarily seen them this close, but Lauren's just gliding past her there at the moment. This is really exciting. I don't think we've seen them this close coming up to the burpee station before. It'd be interesting to see, like I talked earlier about the strictness of the rules on the burpees, and you want to try and just gain every little inch you can, but when it's like neck and neck and this close, are you going to try and push the boundaries and maybe risk a penalty?
Just passing Sarah Pergiani going through there. Lauren Weeks pulling a little bit away from Megan Jacoby. And it's quite interesting. What I love about the sport is most of the athletes are fairly outspoken about how they change their training, what they're trying out, what they're implementing. So everybody's seen throughout the season, okay, you know, Megan Jacoby, she's really been on a very strict nutritional regimen. She worked a lot on that. So I have no doubt if they're seeing that, either they adapted to that already as well, or if they're seeing, you know, her perform here today, if she wins the race, people will look at it within the field like, okay, she's doing that. What do I need to change? Who can I talk to? How can I change my nutrition? Same with the different training styles and everything. And that is the beauty about this sport, still being fairly young, you do find angles. If you look closely, you do find angles for improvement.
Yeah. Everyone's still working it out to an extent. No one knows the true best way to train for this sport, and it might be what's the true best way for you. Like every athlete is slightly different. Some need to work on their running more, some need to work on their strength more. So there's no one best way at the moment, but everyone's still working it out and looking at what the others are doing, and it makes it a really interesting, exciting time, I think.
So here we go with the standings before we head into the next workout after the sled pull. Megan Jacoby and have Lauren Weeks. That has changed on the run track now. Then Camilla Massa, Lauren Griffith, Ronevich, Kate Davey is making a move. She is sort of a late mover within, or not a late, but she likes to get into the race usually and then starts moving up throughout the ranks.
Yeah, and one of her favourite station is the burpee broad jump. She is phenomenal at the burpee broad jumps, Kate Davey, and we've seen her make up a lot of time before. We saw her make up time in Stuttgart on the burpees. You might remember when England won the relay at the World Championship, she was on the burpee station there and putting in an incredible time. So to be in that fairly solid position at the moment, coming up to her favourite station, I think she should be quite excited.
So by our calculations, Lauren Weeks should have had about a 10 to 13 second lead on Megan Jacoby going into the burpees, looking at their strengths in the workouts to come. So if they're both feeling fit, Lauren Weeks doesn't quite have that advantage that she wants to have, but she is showing an incredible run strength today again, and I have no doubt if need be, she can make up another 5 seconds or something on that or any of the other run laps coming up. I mean, if we look at the run times here from Lauren Weeks, you know, just taking a slightly closer look here.
So Lauren just put in a 4:15 run on that fourth run versus Megan's 4:24. And we've already touched on it, but Lauren said before the race that she knows she's fit, but is she Hyrox fit? Well, getting through those sleds and then coming out onto that run, that's a really good test of whether you're Hyrox ready. You know, going from those tough, heavy sleds to then a run and then gaining 9 seconds on Megan Jacoby shows that you're in reasonable Hyrox shape to be able to put that run in after those sleds. And then another great tester is burpee broad jumps. If you're Hyrox fit, you're going to know about it on the burpee broad jumps.
I love it how you use the term reasonable Hyrox shape by what we're seeing here right now. With those two women in the first major off this season, absolutely smashing it. And they're not budging an inch right now. If you look at it, I mean, there's like around about half a burpee to a burpee between the two of them.
Yeah, we just saw the times come up there on the screen. It's worth just highlighting as well that battle for third spot. So top three do qualify for the World Championships today, and that battle for third spot between really third, fourth, fifth, sixth at the moment is very, very close. Just a matter of seconds in it, and that can easily be gained or lost on the burpees.
And let's face it, I mean, with the new prize purse structure that we're seeing here, it is about qualifying for the World Championship without a doubt. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard yet, we have announced recently we're going to Chicago. The Windy City is going to be the place to be for the World Championship in June this year, next year. So a very exciting one for both the elite and the age groupers. Make sure to sign up to your qualification race and get time, and then see you all out there in Chicago. But in the race here now, Lauren Griffith, she probably moved ahead about a burpee by now. So instead of one burpee, it is two. She is out. She gained a couple of seconds on Megan Jacoby, who is done just now. She's coming around that corner and heading out onto the run track as well. Just a quick look over to the competition. Interesting one, how she is checking out who's behind her. That was the look back to the grid, and we can tell her there is nobody right now.
Well, that comes back to that point. It's top three qualify for the World Championship. So obviously Megan wants to win this race. She's very, very competitive athlete. She wants to win, but she's also mindful that top three is the priority today, I would have thought. And so just keeping an eye on who's behind her.
And it's exciting down there, because if you look at the screen just up there ahead of Lauren Griffith, that is Kate Davey. She made her move. You said it. It's her favorite workout. She is heading out onto the run track in third overall, she's passed Lauren Griffith. She put serious time. Lauren Griffith out now into Camilla Massa and Ronevich, who both got more than half a great lane of burpees left.
Yeah, really, really strong. I'll be interested to see what Kate's time was there. 2:54 on those burpee broad jumps. That's a very, very, very quick time. And the other thing I'm noticing, they're coming out just from the burpee broad jumps just in front of us here. They are coming out very, very fast. It's really hard to run after doing these burpee broad jumps, but Lauren Weeks went out really quick, and then I thought the same about Kate Davey and Lauren Griffiths as well. Coming out really strong, looking strong in those first like 100 meters on the run. So they're obviously not suffering to a huge degree at the moment.
Now look at the gap, 1:31 to Camilla Massa now as we got Lauren Weeks on the screen running. And with that move that we've seen now at the burpees, you know, with Petrov and Virchik out as well. Interesting one, the next, well, the two of the Germans are getting close now as well. There you go, they made up some ground as well with Jana Levenstedt and Alina Boya. So if anybody followed the sport, it goes like, Alina who now? It used to be Alina Wilnow, but as we got Lauren Weeks down on the track, opening the gap on Megan Jacoby, we're gonna take a quick look again at the head-to-head that we've just seen down there on the grid. And the gap from Lauren Weeks to Megan Jacoby should be around about 15 seconds by now. And then Megan Jacoby, she's got a lap on the chasers right behind her right now. It's a good 40 seconds. And this is the head-to-head. So if you look at the 2023-2024 season averages here, Megan Jacoby should be faster at the skier by marginally, by a second. A second between sled push, and then a huge gap at the sled pull, which I think is owed to that race that we saw in Nice, for example, where she really suffered. But if you look at the gaps, it's incredible how even it is. We're always talking a second or two, rarely more, between the two of them. And yeah, the sled pull, that's not representative.
No, it's not. I think you're right. I think that's maybe skewed somewhat by that just one-off poor performance in Nice on the sled pull. So that, I think that's skewed that data. I do feel like in my time like commentating on this sport that I previously used to sort of talk about some athletes have got a weak station, some they're particularly strong on. I don't think I talk about many people's weakness anymore because I think they've really worked on those a lot. I don't think there's a huge amount. Any of these athletes have got like an obvious weak station where they're going to lose a lot of time. And certainly, you know, at Lauren and Megan's level, at the top of this field, there's no weaknesses. They've worked on those. They've been in this sport for a couple of years now, and they've shored those weaknesses up. So, yeah, there's not an obvious time, not an obvious station where they're going to lose a lot of time.
So it's just a handful of seconds for Lauren Weeks, the lead, heading into the burpees. It was 9 seconds after the burpees, and I have no doubt that she extended that to over 15 seconds now on Megan Jacoby, as she is inside the rock zone already. She's on the way to the ski erg with Megan Jacoby not in sight, and we're starting the clock now to see how big the gap is between Lauren Weeks and Megan Jacoby. Very important. If you look at the ski erg, that's been made very clear by the judges. Both feet need to be inside the straps before you grab the handle and then start rowing. And there she comes, Megan Jacoby, next one up onto the ski erg. They're going to be shoulder to shoulder, but a little bit of a head start here for Lauren Weeks. A good solid by the time Megan Jacoby starts, 100 meters ahead.
It feels like a lot of time Megan's lost there on that last run. She's come in 33 seconds behind Lauren there, where there was only 9 seconds difference as they left the burpee broad jump. So that's quite a lot of time that Lauren's made up on that run. Now, whether Megan's struggling or not, I don't know, or whether it just comes back to that point. Is she managing her position? Is she settling for second to some extent because she knows that it's top three that's the priority today? But there's Kate Davey coming in third there, looking good towards the end of that run. I think she maybe gained a little bit of time on Megan there as well. So yeah, she'll be pleased with this.
quick look over to Lauren Weeks, just checking out where she is. Kate Davey there, Lauren Griffith there. Kate Davey, she's like, everybody else looks fairly smooth. Kate Davey is just going all in, like, I'm gonna rip this thing apart. So 2:02 for Lauren Weeks. We were thinking it's gonna be about a 1:59 to 2 minute that she's going. Megan Jacoby, that is exactly what she called. 1:58 is the goal. It's a 1:59 right now. So, you know, just going with the pace right there. She's probably gonna make up a second or two. That's what was calculated. Kate Davey losing just a little bit of time there. It's marginal. It's not a lot. The times we're seeing there is on the 500 meters. So we're talking, you know, 2 seconds forth and back is probably the movement that we're gonna see here.
And I think typically we would expect Kate to lose a little bit of time on the road compared to Megan or Lauren, for example. It's not necessarily her strongest station. I mean, like you said, there's only a few seconds in it. It's very easy to cost yourself a lot of energy on the road trying to gain that extra few seconds. It doesn't always give back what you put into it. So just towing that line of where you're managing your energy and like managing an effective time on the road is important.
And it's very interesting to see the different styles on the road. First thing is it has significantly improved. I think, you know, the rowing erg is the most miserable thing you would usually see in your standard gym when it comes to technique. It's like, look away, don't look at that. And, you know, it's very different now. Our elite has really worked on that. But if you look at both Lauren and Megan, they're doing sort of a little bit of an old school row motion where they got that whip towards the end to have like a fluid motion. There is no stopping, it's just like a nice flow forth and back. Megan is also doing the same at the back of it. You look at Kate Davey. Kate Davey is very much, it's a little more of a modern approach. She's just like flat bar, it's one line, forth and back, forth and back. She does have a very accentuated late arm pull, which is, you know, surprising for a lot of folks. The row erg is a leg workout, not an arm workout. So in the backward motion, it's legs first that go full gas, then it's tilt the body back, and then it's to bring the arms back, and then it's the reverse motion on the way back. 2:03, 2:05 for Kate Davey, a little slower than the women next to her, Megan Jacoby and Lauren Weeks, with Lauren Weeks leading, very focused. You know, she's looking at it right now as she is finished. She was just looking at the screen, very focused, 1,000 meters done. Megan Jacoby, what I love about her, looking at her right now, she doesn't get, you know, there's nothing hectic about what she's doing. It doesn't look like that lead that Lauren Weeks had is rushing her in any way.
No. She's raced many times before. She's composed. She knows what she's doing. There goes Megan. It'll be interesting to see what the lead she's got over Kate Davey. I suspect she'd have gained a few seconds on her there.
Probably, yeah. I mean, Megan Jacoby, she was going about 1:58-ish, 1:59, then dropped down to 2 minutes. Kate Davey is now slowed down a little bit as well and went from 2:03 to 2:05-ish, trying to get back every time we see the screen to about 2:03, but incredible effort from Kate Davey. And again, she came in here in third. She had a lead over the chasers. Good move there, opening the straps while continuing. Okay, so the rule for the erg is you got to be at the 1,000 meters before you take the shoes out. That's where you got the nod from the referee there. But you're allowed to prepare to get out of the straps beforehand. So perfectly executed there by Kate Davey. She is out in third. And again, a reminder to everybody, third qualifies you for the World Championship.
Yeah, it does. So it looks like Lauren's pulling away here, but that race between Megan, if you like, and Kate Davey and Lauren Griffith, and then I think that's Joanna Wettrick behind them, that's going to be very close to the finish. That battle for second and third, I would say, is going to be very close. It's exciting to see like the athletes here, and you know they're all good runners. I know Kate, example, is very good on the lunges. I think Joanna Wettrick is as well. Megan, you'd expect to go unbroken on the wall ball. So there's, you know, they've all got different strengths at this stage in the race. How they're going to be feeling on the runs. It looked like Kate made up a few seconds on Megan on that run coming into the row. So yeah, it's going to be very close.
You know, it's an interesting one. I think once we get to the wall balls, and if Megan Jacoby is a little bit behind by then, I think she would wish for a few more wall ball reps. I've seen her do that workout, you know, 150 wall reps. Rumor has it she did them faster than the official record holder for that, Miriam van Roor, another one of our athletes. So she is definitely on wall ball fire without a doubt. But 24 seconds down on Lauren Weeks with the running we've seen in between here. Lauren's going to probably get into the next workout with about a 30-35 seconds lead on Megan Jacoby, as we're now seeing Jonna Vittrick run past Megan Jacoby, but a lap behind, so no changes in position there. You know, and that's the thing now as well. I think as a Megan Jacoby, as a Lauren Weeks, I think as a Lauren Griffith and Sean, you kind of know that you will qualify for the World Championship throughout the season. So yes, it's about the wins, yes, it's about the prestige, but the big one, that's gonna be the World Championship. And they adjust their training accordingly as well. They're gonna, you know, plan the season accordingly, and they don't necessarily need to be super fit and on point at the first major of the season.
No, they don't. They don't. And it's an advantage, though, obviously, to be able to qualify now and then know that you haven't got to try and be that super Hyrox fit at this point in the season. And you can leave it until, you know, closer to June to start really working on that Hyrox fitness. Ironically, though, like we've mentioned many times, Lauren wasn't sure if she was Hyrox fit, and she looks like she's performing really strongly here. So she's clearly Hyrox fit throughout the season. But I do think it's a big advantage to be able to know that you've qualified 9 months ahead of time, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And just looking at the board there now, 13th for Vivian Tefudo. We did not expect that.
No, we didn't. We said she had a lot of fourth place finishes. She's got third at the World Championships. It sounded like she'd been working on her running and was doing really good in the off season. So I was expecting her to be in contention today for sure. But no, yeah, she's well down at the moment.
Lauren Weeks at the Farmers Carry. It's a beautiful setup that we have here. It's a fast one. I expect the women not to set the kettlebells down. We don't have that many turns with the setup that we got here for the Farmers Carry. Lauren Weeks in the lead, and there was a certain indication that she's feeling great. You can always tell in a certain way by her pre-race interviews, and she was fairly chirpy and chatty for a Lauren Weeks, which she's feeling confident, she's feeling great. She's got the family here, she's got the athletes she's training with here, as Megan Jacoby now, who at the Farmers Carry as well, trying to look ahead where Lauren Weeks is. And we're going to get the timing splits in a second between the two of them. And of course, the chase is behind. It was 24 seconds for Megan Jacoby after the last workout. And then a minute and, some change for third for Kate Davey, who's on the way towards the Farmers Carry as well. Not a look at each other at all with Lauren Weeks, Megan Jacoby passing each other here in the different directions. Lauren Weeks already looking ahead towards the exit off the Farmers Carry. Everybody, once again, a warm welcome here to the first major of the season from Amsterdam. We're at the Farmers Carry already, which means we've got 2 workouts left, and we got our leader on the way towards the Farmers Carry exit here. Very important. They're not allowed to throw the kettlebells anymore. They got to be put down exactly like that, handles up again. So a lot of new things just in the routine for the athletes that they had to relearn or need to make sure they focus on while having a heart rate of about a gazillion.
Yeah, and I think it's a 30-second penalty if you don't put the kettlebells down with the handles facing up. So very, very costly penalty. Those splits that just came up at the bottom of the screen there, one of the interesting points there, I think, was that Lauren gained 13 seconds on Megan on that previous run, so she's clearly feeling very good on the runs, and I suspect she maybe even gained a few seconds on the Farmers Carry as well. So if anything, she's extending her lead at the moment.
It's an incredible day for Lauren Weeks. I did get a little bit worried after seeing her run out of the sled push. She lost significant time there. She had a very, not so pretty run style for the first half lap coming out, but then she found her Lauren Weeks legs again, and she's been absolutely flawless since. with Kate Davey in the picture right now fighting. She does not want to put those kettlebells down. You know, very different race for her compared to Stuttgart. Different weights, different reps that we're seeing here. Not the reps anymore, the weights we're seeing very differently right now. A lot more weight as Jana Levenstedt is getting into the workout. Kate Davey is out in third. Stopping the clock here, stopping the watch to see what it is. And Megan Jacoby, 34 seconds down coming out of the farmer's carry. Kate Davey, 1:22. And here we go, Lauren Griffith, great farmer's carry. She is now chasing Kate Davey.
Less than 30 seconds separated Kate Davey, Lauren Griffith and Joanna Wettrick coming into the farmer's carry. So very close race for that third spot at the moment.
Just looking at the three of them, if they carry it to the wall balls like that, how do you see it unfold?
It's really tough to call, really, really tough to call, because you know, you don't know what they've been working on over the summer. What I will say is I remember Lauren Griffith, I don't know if you remember, she actually passed out at the major in Vienna last February it was, and then eventually finished the race, but did the wall balls unbroken at that point. And then in her next race, I believe she did the wall balls unbroken, because that Vienna experience gave her the belief that she could do it. I don't think Kate or Joanna have done the wall balls unbroken, but we know Lauren Griffith has. So to answer your question, my money would probably be on Lauren Griffith at that point.
All right, so let's see, maybe today is the day for Kate Davey or Joanna Wettrick to do them unbroken. Why not in Amsterdam? Our leader, Lauren Weeks from the United States, in the lead. We know she can do them unbroken without a doubt, and she is laser focused. She's running incredibly well. Smooth style here. Nothing has changed much from that first lap that she was running. And we're going to keep a close look on those times that you're seeing on the left screen there. Jana Levenstedt now moved into 7th here, 2:59 down. This is going to be a real close fight for third place here, without a doubt. And if we look at the gap, Lauren Weeks, Megan Jacoby, 34 seconds. Lauren Weeks, something really strange needs to happen if she does not bring it home.
It does, and like if we assume that she won't lose much time on the wall balls, and obviously that's a big assumption, I'd say this station is critical. If Megan wants to win this race, then it's probably going to have to be at the lunges that she's going to do it. And so, yeah, critical station coming up.
And I got to tell you, I love it. I think it's beautiful to see how she is back. You know, she was the standard for the first half of the season last year. Then Megan Jacoby kind of moved past her, and at this race where she's just obliterated everybody at the World Championship in Nice. But now, for the first major of the season, Lauren Weeks, again, seems to be the early standard of the season, and everybody else has to find a way to measure up to that in the coming races.
Mm-hmm. And I know, I think she felt before the race in Nice that she was in like some of the shape of her life. It just didn't work out for her for whatever reason, one reason or another. And so I think she felt she was in incredible shape, and she's looking good so far today.
All right, into the Sandbag lunges, the 7th out of 8 workouts here. We are in the final stages of the Women's Elite 15 race here at the Hyrox Major in Amsterdam. The major kickoff of the season, the Elite 15 that you're seeing racing here today. And it's not going to be too long now. You know, looking ahead a little bit what's happening this season. Next stop, Hong Kong. Next month already.
Yeah, it's going to come around very quickly. It'll be a very interesting race, because let's assume that Megan and Lauren claim two of the 3 spots today. That battle for the next 3 spots really opens up to the rest of the field then, and I think there'll be even more excitement from some of these other athletes that they can then get their spots. So yeah, that Hong Kong race is going to be really exciting.
Oh, and look at that now for third. Yes, we know Lauren Weeks, she's doing incredibly well. Megan Jacoby, no doubt. Kate Davey came in third. but the chase is here in form of Ronevich, who found her legs again. She is catching back up to Kate Davey here. Lauren Griffith behind, coming in now in fifth place, trying to close that gap, and there is now only 11 seconds between Kate Davey and Ronevich, and then another 14 seconds down Lauren Griffith. This is the duel for third place, and again, everybody out there on the screens, third place qualifies you for the World Championship. It's done, it's dusted, you're sorted 9 months out, and all you got to do from that is focus on every single race to improve, enjoy, earn some prize money, and be ready for that race in June.
This is a great little battle here between third and fourth, between Kate Davey and Joanna Wettrick. Joanna's like a tall athlete, long legs, long strides there on each lunge. Looks like Kate's struggling a tiny little bit more. I know she is good on these lunges, but it looks like she's just feeling a little bit more unstable at certain points. I think Joanna's closing the gap a little bit, but Kate's moving again quite well at the moment.
But drop it like it's hot, Lauren Weeks. She's dropped the sandbag lunge. Quick correction there from the head judge. That's what we said. They're going to be very, very uptight, I want to say. Today, she had to do that extra lunge as she tried to move away. But again, she is flying out of the rock zone right now. We got direct view of her. Incredible, straight up, stable body, stable hips, and just absolutely flying is now Megan Jacoby. Dropped the sandbag as well. She had that gap of about 45 seconds. Let's see what it's like after the sandbag lunges now. And Kate Davey, she is fighting, but she is now struggling to hold off Joanna Wettrick. She is trying to move in. Kate Davey absolutely leaving it all out there. She needs a little bit of a gap going out onto that final run lap. We know that Joanna is running just a little bit faster than Kate Davey, who is now turning around for that last lap. We're going to keep you up to date on what's happening out on that run with Lauren Weeks and Megan Jacoby. But right now, let's focus on that duel for third overall that we're looking at right now. That third and final spot that will qualify for the World Championship. On your left, in the lead at the sandbag lunges right now, or putting her into third overall, that is Kate Davey from Great Britain. Then next, sort of in the middle of the grid, that is Joanna Wettrick, who is chasing right now, and it looks like Lauren Griffith again losing just a little bit of time. Kate Davey done. She is holding on with everything she got to that third place right now. We're going to see her time pop up on that screen in a second, and then we want to see the gap to Joanna Wettrick. It was 11 seconds going into the sandbag lunges. Joanna Wettrick had the faster run. She dropped the back as well. Lauren Griffith next now. That gap has barely changed between Kate Davey, Joanna Wettrick, which means if Joanna's got the same run now, she'll be heading to the wall balls, shoulder to shoulder with Kate Davey. And again, you said it before, the gap now there, we see it as 14 seconds. Neither of them has done the wall balls unbroken.
Let me stop you there too. I've just been told that apparently Joanna Wettrick did go unbroken in Brisbane. Her and Lauren Griffith both went unbroken in Brisbane on the wall balls. So Joanna has done it. So that 9-second gap behind Kate Davey there, if she can do that again, I suspect she could claw that back at the wall balls.
I love our little icon for the sandbag lunges, by the way. I would love to see somebody carry the sandbag like that.
The other thing I just want to point out here as well, Lauren Weeks leaving the sandbag lunges at 50.26. She's on for a very, very quick time. I'm going to be interested to see what she can do on this run, but I think she's going close to 58, 59 minutes here. Like just over 58 minutes is the world record. I think she could go close to that today.
Oh, absolutely massive. But also, let's look at Megan Jacoby making up 20 seconds at the sandbag lunges on Lauren Weeks. Close to 20 seconds, not quite. That's quite impressive. Still a comfortable lead here for Lauren Weeks. The two Americans, the two rock stars of Hyrox in the past season, leading the race here. And in the picture, we see the duel. Kate Davey being chased by Joanna Wettrick. And then Lauren Griffith and Jess Petray. Still a fantastic race for her. And you see the times, 3:29, but Megan Jacoby 3:09 for the Sandbag lunges, absolutely smashing it. And look at how close, how strong the field is. Kate Davey, Ronevich, Lauren Griffith, all exactly the same time. And even Petrov behind only 2 seconds slower. That's just shown how strong, how competitive this field is here today. And Joanna Vitrick, she's got her sights on Kate Davey. She is gonna try and make that move past in a second, and you'll see if she's gonna try to make that a decisive move there. Maybe even try to accelerate it a little bit, not give Kate Davey any opportunity, stay with her. That would be the move to do here as we got our leader, Lauren Weeks, coming in. She is into the final workout. The wall balls, ladies and gentlemen, out there, your race leader, Lauren Weeks, live here from the first major of the season in Amsterdam. And let's talk about the wall balls just for a second there. You know, just to make it clear, there is, well, 3 things you want to focus on. The first thing is the squat. It's got to be below a 90-degree angle between your lower and your upper leg. So that's why you see the judges and their heads going up and down. They look everything very carefully. The second is you want to hit the board, and the third is you want to hit the board center. And then when we see the picture, Joanna Vitrick now, she is moving away from Kate Davey. Not really liking Kate Davey's look over the shoulder there. She should not focus. It doesn't matter who's coming from behind. She needs to focus on that third spot. She needs to focus on Joanna Vitrick in front of her. And she's just got to find a way to maybe do those wall balls unbroken now and maybe go past Joanna Vitrick. But here we go. Lauren Weeks, Megan Jacoby next to each other. Both can do the wall balls unbroken. And you see those screens there, which is fantastic because they're counting the wall balls. And we're seeing 16 wall balls, 17 for Megan Jacoby. And that means we've got a good lead there at 43 already for Lauren Weeks.
So 58.03, as a reminder, is Lauren Weeks' world record, which she did it in Vienna last year. If that's 55.40 she's at the moment with 50-ish wall balls to go. I think the world record could be about to go.
It's incredible. To give you an idea of the times they're posting here, okay, this is without doing a Hyrox before, but Megan Jacoby did the test of the 150 wall balls as that trial that she did at home in under 4 minutes. It's 150. So Lauren Weeks, another, you know, she can do them super fast. Okay, now we're seeing Kate Davey struggle a little bit. Just looking at it, you know, Lauren Weeks, she looks a lot more sorry, Joanna Vitrick next to her. That's the duel for third place. A lot more control. We've seen Kate Davey struggle with those wall balls a little bit in Stuttgart as well. But Lauren Weeks absolutely smashing it. The clock's at 56.27. She's got 3/4 off the wall balls here in a second. And she's got some serious time on her hands if she wants to break the record here today. 58.03. That's the time. Obviously, the race clock up top we're seeing there, you know, that's preliminary times. We want to see the official time once she crosses the line here, but that's what we're seeing at the moment. If that is the actual race time, she's got 10 left. It looks like we might be seeing a new world record here today from Lauren Weeks. We got to wait for official confirmation, but she's got only 5 wall balls left now. 57.14. And the time to break is 58.03. First tiny little bit of a struggle there, just correcting the ball in her hands. And for the last one, she's got to wait for the go from the referee. She's got to go. This is the sprint to the finish line. Lauren Weeks, look at that. And we're going to call the time once we see it officially here. What an incredible race by Lauren Weeks here today, and what a kickoff into the major season. Hyrox Amsterdam is delivering in the Women's Elite 15 race. And look at the clock, last 2 wall balls for Megan Jacoby as well. If the clock is correct, she's gonna cross that finish line below the record time as well. That would be a time under 58. She's looking up at it. And look at the way they're talking right now, the way she looked up there. If I got that right, I think she just said we both broke 58 minutes. That would be incredible.
what a race. Everybody want to try to get that confirmation as quickly as possible. Great spirits among the two of them at the finish line. And Joanna Wittrich, she is clearly pulling away here from Kate Davey. She is doing well. Kate Davey absolutely really fighting here to the limit, but it looks like Joanna Wittrich is going to take that third spot on the podium here. She's going to take that third qualification spot for the World Championship in Chicago, with now 15 wall balls left for Joanna Wittrich. And of course, Greg, the man who was on the microphone with me, is on the way down to the finish line already for the after show that we're going to jump straight into after the top 5 crossing the line. And of course, we're going to hear from our winner, Lauren Weeks, and hopefully from Megan Jacoby. And then Joanna Wittrich as well. It's last ball for her. She had 1 no rep there, but now she is good to go. Staying under the 1 mile mark as well. Incredible race from Joanna Wittrich across the line. And of course, we're going to see official confirmation of the times, of the finish times very soon, as we got Kate Davey. What a wall ball set for Kate Davey. 2 left as well. Lauren Griffith getting the push there from Megan Jacoby, and this is Kate Davey. What an incredible, incredible race in the lead 15 for the woman from Great Britain. An unbelievable race. Training partner of Lauren Weeks, and look at the excitement. She can't believe it. You know, yes, third was really close. That direct qualification for the World Championship was really close, but maybe a little too much to ask. But Kate Davey, I'm telling you right now, watch her throughout the season. She is improving strongly from race to race. Final support here from Megan Jacoby for Lauren Griffith, who's now, she is missing that 1 rep. Judge is calling her back, not sure what happened. Done. Now she's on the way towards the finish line. Lauren Griffith leaving it all out there, no doubt. Lauren Griffith, part of the training squad of Lauren Weeks and Kate Davey as well. Joanna Wittrich, congratulating her as well. And I cannot wait to hear from our Elite 15 women down in the finish line in just a moment times. And you know, just as I said, I think we're ready with Lauren down near the finish line where all the action is happening.
Thanks so much, Till. Another unbelievable race. It's like we've gone on straight from World Champs. I mean, Lauren, times are unofficial at the moment, but you've just set a new world record.
I honestly don't know what my time is yet.
We're not sure what the time is yet, but it looked like a new world record. It looked like a significant world record, I've got to say.
Yeah, the course was very smooth. Like, the corners were really nice. The rock zone had pretty nice corners. It was definitely set up for a fast run. You
were saying to Teal, you knew you were fit, but you weren't sure if you were Hyrox ready.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah, there is. But clearly, did you feel good as soon as you started?
I mean, as soon as we started on the run, and my run felt really, really good. I'm always like so nervous before I hit the sleds, because some days they're hard and some days they fly. So it's like, I don't know what today's gonna give me. I'm crossing my fingers for a good sled day.
Slightly unusually, you haven't been traveling with your usual crew that's here. How have you managed the race weekend without your husband and your daughter?
Honestly, it's really hard. This trip is the longest that I've been gone from them, so it'll be like 6 days. Normally I'm like 4 days max. Sorry, 4 days max.
It's okay.
This is a long one, and it's really hard. So my little thing into the camera, that's how Lily and I tell each other we love you. So.
That's super cute. I mean, when you said you weren't Hyrox race ready, is that something that almost you tell yourself to take expectation away? Or did you genuinely believe that you're not one of the fittest women in the world right now in this sport?
So honestly, I don't know. Like, before World Champs every year, I spend a lot more time being very specific on stations. We're so early in the season that I'm not quite there yet, but like it goes to show that like maybe in training it's better to not be specific, that we're like I'm able to get like more overall fitness when I'm not specifically training the stations.
You were up against a lot of rookies as well that you probably just haven't had the experience of facing on the competition floor.
No.
How did that alter things out on track?
Actually, I wouldn't say it altered much at all. It was just kind of exciting to like get to race with new people. Sorry, I'm not looking at you. With new people, because it is consistently the same, usually like 20-ish girls that I'm racing with, and we had quite a few new faces today, and I'm so excited to have Joanna in the field. Like 22, she's, I don't know, like in between the age of myself and my daughter, so she's somebody who is going to bridge that gap. Like if my daughter wants to compete in sports like this, like I need somebody like Joanna who falls in love with the sport to keep it going and keep the hype with it so that it's still around when Lily grows up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is not the last time we're going to see you race this weekend.
No. I have doubles this weekend. I'm going to race with JK, who still has to do his singles. Excited to cheer him on. And then I'm also racing with Rebecca, who's sitting on stage right there. So we'll be coming in on our second wind.
Amazing. Can't wait to watch over the rest of the weekend. I'll let you get away and celebrate with friends, I hope, that are here, as opposed to family. But yeah, if you want to hand our microphone over to one of our crew, and congratulations, Lauren.
Well done.
Oh, we'll take it. Greg will have it. Greg, obviously, just before Lauren walked into studio, her time was slightly re-evaluated on the screen, so we're slightly in the dark as to what the final scores were. But that doesn't take away from another amazing performance and two women who broke the current world record.
Yeah, incredible, really. And I think it reminded me back of when she won the World Championships in Manchester, and every time she came out of a station, she just looked so strong. The compromised running was so strong. And yeah, so it reminded me of that today. Hello, well done.
That voice is unmistakable.
It's me, Meg Jacoby.
It is the fierce, indomitable, unbelievable athlete, Megan Jacoby.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
A PB?
PB.
PB, baby, to start the year.
PB for Lauren, but she got her PB by 1 second. I got mine by, I don't know, 15-ish, 16. It was an absolute fight out there today.
Yeah?
The times of the top 5, 6, incredible. So it's gonna be an exciting season, guys. But hey, starting out with a PR, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's not a bad start to the season.
Got our qualifiers done, so it's not a bad way to start out in October.
What was your aim coming into the race? Well, I talked on the live stream about, are you coming in it to win? Are you trying to qualify and get a top 3 spot? You're just trying to get a time? What was your approach?
Well, I mean, if we're all being 100% honest, we all want to win, of course. But with the majors, it's making sure we get that qualifier ticked so that we can then really focus on training and progressing in training throughout the rest of the season. It's a long season. I mean, we don't race Worlds until June. That is the ultimate goal of the season. So these majors are really exciting and really fun, and it's great to test yourself, but this is a test. And the big goal is World Championships. And I think probably everybody here has a similar feeling. They want to get qualified, they want to make it to Worlds. So having that pressure off is great. Now we can really focus on strategy and how we progress in training. So, yeah.
You came into the race defending champion, and it's the first time you've had to do that. Not just that, you are arguably in the women's field, the only professional athlete.
Oh,
you've gone full in, and you have been very vocal about that online.
Yes.
How have you dealt with the kind of like the emotional kind of wave that brings in terms of performing when it counts?
Yes. I think it's a pressure, but at the same time, it's the biggest privilege to be in that position.
That's just how
all the ladies here are truly amazing athletes. So getting to race them it's of course it's pressure, it's nerves, because everybody's working super hard in training. Everybody's getting better. The times already that some of these women have run this season, it's going to be fast. It's going to be a hard effort. So definitely not coming in thinking it's going to be easy, knowing I'm going to battle every single race. But that's exciting for me, and it pushes me in not just physically but mentally as an athlete to be my best self always, and it creates a lot of strength. So, but yeah, it's nerve-wracking. I think it's nerve-wracking for everyone. But yeah, it's an honor to have a world championship title, and I'm incredibly proud of that. So.
Will we see you at the rest of the majors?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm excited. Hong Kong next. Can't wait to make that trip.
It's going to be incredible. Meg, we'll let you get away, celebrate with your family.
Thanks, guys. Hi, everyone. Mila, I love you.
We love you too,
Thank
Mila.
you. Well done.
So they were our top two, and I think official now that there was a 1 second added to Lauren Weeks, which is such a shame when you're on for such a strong world record performance. But both of those women, I think we can go on to say that, and another woman as well. Hi. I think it's safe to say that there is going to be a battle at the top between the two that we expected in Lauren and Meg. But hello, Joanna.
Hello.
Rookie debut. How are you feeling?
Honestly, unreal. That was so much fun. I don't know if many girls would say it was fun, but I had a really good crack out there. And Lauren and Meg are honestly the people to beat. People have been saying that all season so far. So it was honestly such an honour to race against them and see how I could put up with them. So it was really good, yeah.
What impressed you most about your own performance? Like, where did you maybe surpass your own expectations?
Honestly, probably halfway through the race, I was in the back 6th or 7th position, so I was kind of lagging behind a bit, and I was just chipping away, and it only got to the last 2 stations that I really put on the pedal, and then cracked over in front to 3rd place, so I was really proud of myself there. Yeah.
Were you worried at any point that the lead and 2nd, 3rd, 4th spot were changing hands an awful lot in those early stages? Were you worried?
A little bit. You're always naturally going to be a little bit worried at the back of your mind, but I knew my race plan was honestly just to go out consistently and not press it too hard at the start, because everyone goes really hard at the start because the adrenaline's high and everything like that. So,
yes.
And especially being my first major, naturally that's what I want to do, but I knew I just got to stick to my own race, my own pace, and that's exactly what I did. So halfway through, I knew that's where I need to put the pedal on, and yeah, I stuck to my race plan and it clearly worked, so yeah.
That ability that you clearly showed to manage kind of the nerves and the pressure, how much are you leaning on your tennis background to be able to do that so effectively?
Yeah, massively. So obviously tennis is an endurance sport as well, and it's individual, so it's all on you at the end of the day. So I really lean into that in my races here in Hyrox. So just stick to my own game, and honestly, I know there's 14 other girls around me and they're probably chasing me down too, but yeah, really sticking to my gut and my instinct to know when to push and when to take it in my own realm, really. So yeah, tennis has helped me hugely to race like I did today. Yeah.
Finally, you told me earlier this week that you had basically put a contract with netball for your state on hold, and you said, no, I'm going to focus on the Hyrox season, and it was a massive gamble for your future career. How relieved, happy, like thrilled are you that it appears you've made the right decision?
Yeah, so honestly, after racing what I did just then, I'm honestly made the right choice, clearly. So only around a month ago, I got offered another contract for next year for netball. So I said no for next season, and maybe if nothing worked out here, I would go back to it in the following season. But honestly, it was the best decision I've made, really. So coming across that finish line there, coming 3rd, and honestly not expecting to get a time that I did just then, yeah, it really solidified my decision to choose Hyrox over netball.
We cannot wait to see you at the rest of the majors, Joanna. Thank you so much, and congratulations on an incredible performance.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, and hello everyone from Melbourne watching.
We'll let you get off. I'll take that from you.
Well done.
We'll just pop that one down on the ground while we take a little look at the results. Lauren Weeks, our champion, with a 58.06. Another incredibly impressive performance, especially from someone who's not Hyrox race ready, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, sub 60 is an incredible time. All of these are incredible times, really. But yeah, 58.06 this early in the season. Not sure if you're race ready. Not sure if you've been training specifically enough for something like Hyrox. To put that in now is incredible, really.
Are we going to have another season dominated by the Meg-Lauren continuum?
It's hard to say. I mean, that lady we just spoke to, Joanna, she's still learning this sport in reality. She's only run a few races, a few pro races. She's still finding her way. This is her first time on this stage against these ladies, and she's performed strongly. She wasn't quite at their level today, but you know, in 9 months' time at the World Championships, could she be? I certainly think she could be, yeah.
And finally, Kate Davey. She was so close to finishing in the top 3, which was your prediction. Her prediction was 5th, and she landed nicely in the middle. So another incredible race from the Brit. But a lot of incredible racing still to come. A lot have just happened as we look back on some of the best moments from a race that has kicked off the season in Europe, and of course, the majors at large. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Amsterdam Rye Exhibition Centre. If you are just joining us, we have just had the women's first major of the season, and now myself and my partner in crime, Greg Williams, are going to be looking forward to the men's race, the first of the year, and the field is deep as ever.
It is really strong field. We saw a great race at the World Championships last year on the men's side, and hoping for more of the same today.
If we look at that start list, there are 2 notable absentees in Hunter McIntyre and Michael Sandbag, both big names in the sport, one on the podium at Worlds. But what that has done is opened up the field. Can you pick out a few new names?
A few new names. One that jumps out to me is Jake Dearden. He ran a 2:28 at the Berlin Marathon recently. He effectively qualified for this race with his impressive time at the Cape Town Hyrox, a 56 minute something relatively recently as well. So he's certainly a name to watch for sure.
You've got Sadiq El Fattori there, the former professional footballer. And of course, we say hello to Ryland Shadeg. We haven't seen Ryland since Chicago, back this time last year, first major of the season, where he qualified for the World Championships. And then he never came back due to injury. And he's finally back on the competition floor, which I think for both of us is quite exciting.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And his performance back then in Chicago, like nearly a year ago now, was very impressive. So it's good to see him back today.
So, much like the women, we have been making our predictions. Me and Greg love a noisy chat about the world of Hyrox, and you guys can too. If you head on over to YouTube, us and the production crew have put up a few names, but by all means, disagree with us. Get yourself in the comments and let me know why you think a certain athlete is going to do well tonight. And there are plenty of them out there that are going to do well. At the top of that list, and I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but our defending world champion, Alexander Ronevich, he has got to be the first name on anyone's list.
Yeah, he's been in the sport really since the start. I think he'd podiumed at the World Championships 4 times up until Nice, and then finally got that win that he so badly craved and deserved, really. An incredible performance, and yeah, I think he's got to be coming in here today as hot favourite for this race.
He is a 2-time European champion. He's been on the podium since 2019 at the World Championships, and he's just probably one of those guys that you can never count out. Mr. Consistent and now defending world champ. But guess what? He's not that good on a bike.
Nobody's gonna believe that.
It was not my fault, I promise. Alex, I'm mildly nervous, but this is what we do in Amsterdam, right?
Yeah, we bike.
Yeah, you've got this, right?
I hope
You're
so.
not going to kill us with traffic.
You ready?
Yeah, on you. Ah! Oh, that was some good dodging.
Let's go wrong direction.
It's like the track. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so nervous. What are your main memories from World Champs?
For sure, like, it was great winning, having heading across the finish line and having this feeling like being best in the world, hitting the gong.
And it was clean.
It was awesome, like really enjoyed it.
How much has your life changed? And like, do people around you see you any differently?
I don't think so. Like my closest friends and my family, like I'm the same. I've always been like, I've always like chased for something more, something bigger. I always try to be the best.
Because you're a teacher, right?
Yes.
Like Alex Ronevich, the teacher. That blows my mind. What do you want out of this season?
Oh, my main goal is like to qualify as fast as possible, if possible, and then focus on worlds. The main focus are the worlds for sure. And I'll try to be at all majors. As long as I win the majors, I'm gonna be at the next one.
Fabulous.
Because I see it as a little goal for myself, like winning all the majors. It's like the Grand Slams.
You're calling that a little
in tennis. Like if you have the perfect season, that would be awesome. Like winning 4 majors, winning the worlds.
Because that's your background was swimming. Did you have like an equivalent in swimming?
Not really, and I can't really compare it because like swimming wise, I wasn't on that level where I'm at Hyrox. Like I wasn't even, what's this?
There's a solid chance that we've completely broken this bike. I think it started as a flat tire and now I think the rim has gone.
What's gone?
The rim of the wheel.
You need to stop, you think?
I think we get to the end of this road and hope that that's where the boys are. Come on, bike, you can make it.
Let's go.
Oh, no, we can't make it. I think that's it. I think the bike is done. The bike has been better. And may we never ride bikes again.
We killed the bike. No, we can't like carry it. We can push it.
There you go. Don't worry, Alex, I've got you. As long as you film it.
Oh, she's crazy. She's crazy.
You'll jog it.
That's the
compromised running, Alex.
That's the way we ride bikes in Amsterdam.
Hyrox 2024 season, let's go.
Well, I couldn't ask the world champ to carry the bike, could I? Well, that was a great way to start our week in Amsterdam, and obviously had a really kind of interesting chat with Alex there, but he's shared some wisdom with you as well.
Yeah, so he's told me last year, I think he wanted to win all the majors. He wanted that Grand Slam, and I think that's what he's going for this year. We've talked a few times today about, does someone want to win it? Do they want third spot? Do they just want a good time? I think Alex is one that's here today. He wants to win, and I think he wants to get a very, very good time doing it as well.
I'm excited to see that happen. If there is one man, though, who can steal the show, like ruin the party, as it were, it's a man from Australia, isn't it? Who surprised us all at World Championships.
Yeah, James Kelly. He finished 3rd at the World Championships. He's really on a good trajectory. He's already raced a couple of times this season in Australia and won. Interested to see what he can do today.
And I caught up with him a little bit earlier on.
Has actually been such a great thing for Georgie and I. We've decided to bunk down back in Australia, and we're loving it. We've got our own little home now, so yeah, it's been really, really good to go back home. Doesn't matter where these races are, I'll be going to them, and I'll be ready to rumble. I personally love the idea if people are thinking that I'm the one to beat, because if I'm not engaging with that and enjoying that, like, what am I doing? I'm here for a reason, and I'm not afraid to say I'm here to win, full stop, period. And if I'm the man to beat, then I love that even more. I personally love the new structure. I think Hyrox have done an amazing job to change it, and kudos to the boys and the girls who have secured their spot for tonight. All of them do deserve to be here, but it's just gonna keep things interesting, because these 2 times that you need are deleted after 365 days, so you need to be racing. It's a season now, and it should be. So yeah, I'm quite excited about the new structure. But I don't think I need to state what my overall goal is, because I think if most people are aware, if you're not going out there to win, in my eyes, then what are you doing?
Another impressive guy that I think will only go from strength to strength throughout the season, and he's moved back to Australia, which is really interesting because he's got a whole new dynamic to deal with that he didn't have last year. Now, let me take a little look at the rookies in the men's field, because you've already mentioned his name, and there really is one man that stands out to us, and that is because he's been given the Red Bull hat. And in our sport, how exciting. The first time a brand like Red Bull has given this kind of accolade to a Hyrox specific athlete who also runs marathons. But what does that tell you about Jake and the type of athlete he is?
He's a very impressive, very exciting athlete. Red Bull have supported him for a while. I think they saw his potential in the sport. A little while ago, he ran 11 Hyrox in one weekend in some incredible times. Like some of those were doubles, most of those were sub 60. Incredible athlete, and yeah, then recently I think he started to show his potential at this elite level. And like I said earlier, he ran a 2:28 at the Berlin Marathon recently, which is impressive anyway. He's a big guy, he's a big muscular guy. It's not like he's a runner that's going to lose a lot of time on the stations in Hyrox. And then he also ran a 56-minute in a Hyrox in Cape Town as well to sort of cement his place in this race today. Really exciting athlete, yeah, that I think can compete at the very, very top of this sport.
Much like Meg to a certain extent, trying to defend a championship and the kind of expectation that is now weighed on her shoulders, I feel like Jake is coming into this as a complete rookie with a similar amount of expectation. The hat doesn't help that, but he's also doing these absolutely insane times in marathons. He's got over 500,000 Instagram followers. There is a whole world out there that is following this man, and tonight is his first ever race.
Yeah, and but I'm sensing that he's another athlete that thrives on that kind of pressure. I remember asking him about it a long time ago when he was being supported by a lot of brands. And I think his girlfriend knew then that he was going to put even more work into the training because he's getting this sort of support. But it seems to be paying off, and he seems to be thriving on it. And when you speak to him, he's very relaxed, very cool, calm, composed about everything. So yeah, I don't think it's something that's phasing him at the moment. I mean, we'll see tonight, but I don't think it's something that's phasing him.
My big takeaway from speaking to him is actually what a lovely kind of, arguably a little bit introverted and nice human he was. You guys, you can see for yourselves.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling it's completely new to me. So just qualified 3 weeks ago. So yeah, feeling excited. The nerves haven't hit me yet. When given the opportunity to obviously work with Red Bull, especially be the first kind of Hyrox athlete, one, it's an absolute privilege and an honour, but it does add a lot of pressure. I've used it as fuel to kind of push me forward. I've been laser focused on training. Yeah, I've took it more serious than I ever think before. Being completely honest, no, I didn't know whether my off-season training would actually pay off and convert into a Hyrox. A lot of people told me it wouldn't. A lot of people said, if you just focus purely on running, then you're not going to get a good time in Hyrox, because there's so many runners out there that struggle with Hyrox. But I kind of knew my strengths, I knew my weaknesses, maintained my strengths and then worked on my weaknesses, and that's got me to the position to get a good time in Cape Town and to get here now. The marathon was really good. I think realistically probably not ideal for this first race, as it was only 10 days ago, I think. But yeah, we've got a time of 2:28, which is what I should be able to hold for each kilometre within Hyrox for the entire marathon. So yeah, it felt good. Yeah, proud of it.
So he's going to be up against a number of athletes. One includes the North American champion in Dylan Scott, but one includes a German who we didn't see race at World Championships in Tim Wienisch. He's here, he's fit, he's fighting.
Yeah, and I think he's feeling good. Like you said, he was injured at the World Championships in Nice, pulled out just before, which was heartbreaking for him. He pulled out just before the World Championships in Manchester, again for injury. So we've not seen him really, truly fit at World Championships for a long time. It sounds like he's had a great training block, a great off-season. He told me he's in some of the fittest shape he's ever been, which is very, very fit. He's one of the fastest guys we've seen in this sport. So I'm excited to see what he can do here today. I'm getting the sense that he really believes he's in good shape.
When we've seen him in his best shape, he has performed. He's taken home that ticket last year to Nice.
Yeah. And he's one of the youngest athletes in this field as well. We've touched on already how at this sport you can continue to compete at a higher level, higher age than many others in many other sports. I think Tim's 24, 25, so his potential is still huge, but he's doing it at this age, and so yeah, I'm excited.
And North American champion Dylan Scott, he is one of the few that's travelled from the USA. and traditionally maybe the travel's never gone so well. Why keep going to the Europeans, and does it show his intent to attack the season?
I think it does. Dylan really wants it. We know he's got huge potential, and I remember that race in DC that we saw him win in the major. It was incredibly impressive.
It was phenomenal how he led that race.
Yeah, and since then, I think that's made everyone realise that he's a real contender at the top level of this sport. And you're right, when he's travelled to Europe, he's not always performed. But like we said earlier, I think people are still working out how to deal with the jet lag. How can they perform after making that sort of journey? And so I think Dylan, I think he's learning all the time. Interested to see what he can do today.
Can't wait to see what all of our gentlemen do today. It is time for the men's Elite 15. Let's head on down where Tobias Lautvine is kicking off our men's Elite 15 first major of the season.
Tobias Lautvine. Make some noise for Yannick Chapla. From Germany also, we have Tim Vinish. From the UK, give it up for Afan Humphreys. Also from the UK, give it up for Sadiq El Fatouri. From France, Geoffrey Voisin. And from the UK, Jake Didden. From New Zealand, it's Bo Wills. From Australia, Jonathan Wynn. It's Thomas Knivedick. Yeah! From the USA, Ryland Shedegg. And from Germany, make some noise for Lucas Storer. From Australia, give it up for James Kelly. And the USA is here. Give it up for Dylan Scott. And your reigning world champion, Amsterdam, he's here. From Austria, Alex Ronevich.
as the elite men line up on the start line for the first major of the season. This is Lauren Smith filling in for commentary as we fix a little technical issue. Front and center, James Kelly, Geoffrey Voisin out of France. And here comes in the black hat our defending world champion, Alexander Ronevich. Of course, ready to put in a huge performance. His goal this year, to win every single major of the year. The technical Grand Slam of Hyrox. It has never been done before. I'm not sure anyone would be bold enough to attempt it, but if there is one man who will be able to, it is that man right there. Over his right-hand shoulder, the current North American champion, visualizing the running laps. That's Dylan Scott. If you're talking about athlete training, him and the man in front of him, Ryland in the backwards black cap, two Americans who put in hours and hours of volume on their respective machinery and running. It'll be interesting to see how the Americans have traveled here as Faisal counts us in. And they are off, our elite men, for the first major of the year. It was quick out the blocks for Sadiq El Fattori, out of London, a former professional footballer who spent a few months with Manchester United, would you believe? Since retirement, he's found a home on the Hyrox floor, doing very well in the British races, enough to get 2 times to qualify him for the major series. That's a big start from the Londoner. Over his left-hand shoulder, though, the defending champ, he isn't going to let him get away, especially on European soil. He's got 2 European championships to his name over the last couple of years. An incredible athlete. Off the back of the start gate, there is 2 running laps until they see the end zone. Of course, 1 kilometer in between each exercise. The first of which, the ski erg. And we all know you don't kill it on the ski erg. Ease yourself into what's going to be hopefully a sub 1 hour performance from a lot of these gentlemen, as is the norm nowadays in the Hyrox Elite 15 men's. Also worth noting that it is not just about setting first, second, third, getting your ticket to World Champs now. A lot of these men are going to be on this 365-day rolling clock with times. They'll be looking at the times they set and thinking, I need to set new times to make sure I continue to get invited to the major series. So there is a whole new dynamic to racing this season that we haven't had to really contemplate in the same way before. It makes it all the more exciting as Alexander Ronevich leads the field into the first exercise. As they enter the rock zone, they'll be thinking about that 1,000 meters on the ski erg. Looks like Jake Dearden, the man, the myth, legend, is also up in the top 5. James Kelly as well, after his performance at the World Championships, tipped for big things this season. Him and his girlfriend have moved back to Australia. Your 1, 2, and 3 looking exceptionally close together. Alexander Ronevich, James Kelly, and Tim Vienisch. That's a very exciting start for Tim, who's based out of Munich, or nearby. After missing the World Championships last year, as Greg told you in the pre-show, he had to withdraw last minute. He's been struggling with a leg injury. Prior to that, the year before, having to miss out on World Championships because of a back injury. We just really hope that he finally has a little bit of good luck this season as he sits in the top 3. Earlier in the pre-show, we asked you, who do you think's going to take the win today? We also suggested a few of our own names, but we got the results back in, and it's pretty much unanimous. A 48% Alexander Ronevich. I mean, it's understandable. Defending world champion, He's a European champion. He's been in the sport since 2019, Mr. Consistent. But next down, 33% of you are voting for our new rookie Red Bull athlete, Jake Dearden. 12% James Kelly, 4% James Scott. We had nearly 1,000 voters, so nice to see so many of you getting involved online. I'd like to see who's suggested elsewhere as well. Of course, there's so much talent in this field. It goes way beyond 4 athletes. You only have to look back to Chicago this time last year in the majors season when Ryland Shadegg, a basic unknown, former junior mountain bike professional, blew the field away and ended up on the podium. We're hearing it. Tell him.
Okay.
So it looks like Till might be back in action, given I'm hearing him through my headsets. That's great news. I'm not sure whether I've managed a whole hour of commentary. So let's head on back over to the dynamic duo who are far better than me on the microphone through the races. It is the one, the only Till Schenk and Greg Williams.
All right, thank you so much, Lauren. Great to be back on the air. Must win with that one excited spectator trip over the cables here. All right, welcome back, everybody, for the second round here at the Major in Amsterdam. You heard all the news. You heard the first, run lap and the information about our athletes from Lauren down at the grid, and she is actually the woman right in the middle of the action. And Greg, what an incredible opening run we've seen here. Alex Ronevich, I mean, just unbelievable. He barely touched the ground as he was flying around the grid, and we were speculating what the times would be, and I'm like, are you kidding me? 2:34 opening run.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I literally couldn't sprint this time for 200 meters right now in an all-out sprint.
No, I should say that the opening run here is shorter than runs 2 to 7. So it's like it's not 1 kilometre that they've done that 2:34 in, but that is a very, very quick time. I think that's a minute quicker than the ladies ran that opening run, and it. I touched on, I thought Alex would stay out fast, just like he did in Nice, and that's true. But so did many other athletes. Like they stuck with him on that first run. So, James Kelly, Tim, Sadiq El Fattori came in very, very close together, and they're actually leaving relatively close together as well. So yeah, a lot of these guys that started out fast. It's worth as well highlighting there. Alex was pulling like 1:38, 1:39 per 500 meters on the ski. So. Really, really fast time there. He's really putting that in, and yeah, it looks like he's going for a fast time today.
Oh, absolutely incredible. As a German right now, I would say, okay, this is fine, this is perfect. Let's cut it right here. Ronevich, as an Austrian, we kind of adopted him anyways. Tim Wenisch in second. Great to see Tim Wenisch back. He had so many struggles. He had the injury issues, and then wasn't quite where he wanted to be. And right now, I know this has only been the opening run, but even to see his run back at this right now is beautiful to see. Chasing Alex Ronevich around the track right now. It looks like he might even be running just a tiny bit faster. And of course, we're going to get all the information from the new Amazfit T-Rex 3, the world's first smartwatch with Hyrox race mode. So if you're into Hyrox, you got your own race mode programmed into it. It has incredible battery life. You don't need to worry about charging anymore, and so many fantastic other features. So go check it out on Amazfit. Yeah, Alex Ronevich in the front. Tobias Lautwein coming closer. And then look at that run coming from behind.
That's right. That's Ryland Shadegg. They're absolutely flying. Now we talked in the pre-show about how he looked so good in Chicago. Like, I think he finished second that day. Looked so good, qualified for the World Championships, and then we didn't see him since. We know he's been suffering with his health ever since, and it felt like coming into this race, this was maybe, I don't think he even fancied himself for this race. But look at him run here. He's absolutely flying.
And he's having a blast. Look at his face. And that was just a beautiful move, how he offered Alex Ronevich a drink. By the way, super smart move. I've not seen many athletes do that. I've seen, in the open, I've seen people with camelbacks running out there. Not exactly a great idea for our elite. But running with that flask, and you've done Hyrox before, and let's tell our viewers out there, how does your mouth feel about 200 meters into that run?
Very, very dry, and it gets so hot in this race. I mean, this room's not as hot as other events that we've been to, but you know, managing that heat, managing your fluid intake, hydration, how hot you feel throughout is a really important element of this race. And he looks like he's started to do that.
I love seeing like what we're seeing right now. The way he looked back was a little bit like, come on, who's playing with me today? Like, where are you guys? I mean, this is the world champion behind him, and he just flew past him. I mean, looking at the gap right now, how it unfolds, he did make a bit of an effort to, you know, make it look especially fast and smooth. He's not opening the gap up quite the same way. I have absolutely no idea why he keeps turning around. He's the fastest man on the track right now. No point in constantly checking the competition there, unless he just doesn't want to be lonely. I mean, we'll ask him, you know, after he finishes the race. Maybe he's more like a Wolfpack kind of guy.
He looks so composed doing it. It looks like he's really enjoying it. He left the skier 14 seconds behind Alex there, and he caught that time very, very quickly. Unbelievable run.
Really unbelievable. We're going to check those times for you. We're going to look at the run splits. Of course, he did, you know, just slow down just the tiniest bit towards the end of the run, which is great because he made Alex Ronevich and Tim Vanish and James Kelly work hard to catch back up to him. He had a chance to catch his breath a little bit, but now Ronevich is doing Ronevich things again, and the gap's been closed. Vanish and Kelly behind, shoulder to shoulder, but I mean, like, you just don't get past Alex at this workout. He took the break, and now he's just going through.
Yeah, that sled is moving really well for Alex there. He's making Ryland look like he's moving slowly, but he's not at all. Ryland's pushing this sled really, really well at the moment, but Alex has absolutely flown on those first 2 lengths.
Interesting to see here, Tim Vanish not losing any time really at the moment. Well, he's losing time on Alex Ronevich. He's not losing much time on Shattuck, so he really seems to be back. James Kelly not budging an inch there either. And here we go, Alex going into that last lane now. Tim Vanish has to take a little bit of a breather there, giving Kelly the chance to go through. But Ryan Shattuck, wow. I'm really looking forward to seeing his run now after the sled push. You know, we've seen Lauren Weeks in the women's race. If you've missed it, watch it. It's been absolutely incredible, an unbelievable season opener. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they move after the sled push. But Alex Ronevich, he is on the way out. And you know, you gotta love Alex Ronevich. I mean, he is always entertaining the crowds. You remember that one race that nobody wanted to have when we had some issues with the rowers and the electronics just didn't play ball? How he handled that, how he played with the audience, how he's always having a great time. And Tim Vanish out. And look at that. We've got a little bit of movement there. Lucas Storad is moving in as well. Really, really great move there from him.
So just 18 seconds separated the top 11 guys coming into that sled push. So really close at the moment, and they've started out very, very quickly. But yeah, they've all got through that sled push pretty well. Alex absolutely flew. I think he made a bit of a statement to Ryland there, like, if you're going to pass me on that run, then you've got to compete with me on the sled. And I think that was a little bit of a statement towards Ryland there.
And then when we get the graphic in a moment with the times after the sled push, we're seeing some fun little movement there. Without a doubt, like moving into third out of the workout, if I've seen this correctly, must have been Humphreys.
Yeah, I need to check that. We'll wait for the stats to appear. Yeah, you're right. Avem Humphreys left the sled push in third spot there. So we last saw him in the Elite 15 at Washington DC, and you know, he didn't have a great race that day, but yeah, to be at this point.
In all fairness, you know, slightly exaggerated. He found out about his race about 10 minutes before the start and still had to travel from, I believe, Wales over to Washington. But he is, look at his run. I mean, Tim Vanish, he was flying. He was running at 2:30 to kick off the race here. Is now Shattuck is going past Tim Vanish as well. But Humphreys, he was out off the sled pole, same time as Tim Vanish, and he's now running away, chasing Alex Ronevich.
There's a 1:37 sled push for Alex Ronevich there. Unbelievable time. Alex left the sled push at 11:35, then Tim Venich was 17 seconds behind.
But Ronevich is well, not in trouble, but he's going to be caught in a second from Humphreys here, Humphreys. What a display here in the early stages of this Elite 15 race. Tim Venich doing what he needs to do, staying with Ryan Shattuck there in third position. When Ryan Shattuck went by, that was a little extra motivation that Tim Venich needed. And then behind James Kelly, not far at all.
Just 40 seconds separating first and 10th as they leave the sled push.
All right, here we go, Evan Humphreys. He's like, all right, if you don't want to run faster, I'm taking the lead of the race here. No trouble for me. Where's my sled?
That's 17 seconds he's clawed back on this run alone. He left 17 seconds behind Alex at the sled push.
But I love it how he had to double check with Alex. One more lap, is that right? Just double checking here. Don't want to make a mistake right now. I mean, we've seen this before from established athletes like Linda Maya, that counting can get real difficult on the run course at times. It's a real bad thing if you run too little, and then you're disqualified in the Elite 15 race. It's not a terrible thing if you run too much, you're just losing time. But look at Alex, he's like, nah, you know, we're not laying down like this.
And he knows he's coming up to the sled pull. That's, you know, Alex is incredibly strong normally on the sled pull as well. So I think he'll feel confident that if he can come in neck and neck here, I think he'll feel confident that he can leave in first place.
But just looking at, as they're headed into the next workout here, Alex Ronevich, Evan Humphreys, just not too far back, I've seen Lucas Storad, which is interesting because the entire team said, yeah, he's not ready, he's not fit yet. Nah, so there's an unfit Lucas Storad in his second Hyrox career, I want to say. I mean, he was retired, you know, he's back. He used last season, really put it, you know, went all in the attempt to qualify for the World Championship, trained hard through the winter, found the love for the sport again, and is back here. But we're looking at the leaders' third workout after the run and into the sled pull. We got Evan Humphreys, 15:54, 1 second ahead of Alex Ronevich. Tim Venich, James Kelly, Ryan Shattuck, and Lucas Storad. 21 seconds down in 6th place right now. But not too much of a surprise there to see Alex Ronevich change sides first.
Right, he's pulling it really well at the moment. You know, I think he probably made up 5-10 seconds on that first length there, and he's still moving really, really well. James Kelly, though, performing really well as well. You know, he's pretty much tied there with Alex, so he's moving quickly. And one thing I've noticed with James lately, and we noticed it at the World Championships in these, with like his transitions. When he leaves a station, he's very, very quick through that rock zone, and you see him there moving really quick from one end of the lane to the other. I think he thinks that's where he can really make up time. And I think I'm right in saying he had the fastest run time at the World Championships in Nice as well, against, you know, some incredibly fast guys. So those little things is where James can pick up some time here.
Oh, absolutely. He's doing real well right now. If you look at the grid down at the bottom right-hand corner, we got Evan Humphreys. Then we got Alex Ronevich, James Kelly, Ryan Shattuck, Tim Venich, Lucas Storad. That's the order as we have them down on the grid right now. Alex Ronevich doing real well, but look at Ryan Kelly. He's gone past Evan Humphreys now as well. He's caught back up to Alex Ronevich, and, you know, just within the team, chatting to folks here, chatting to the Hyrox insiders and the regulars down near the grid. Ryan Kelly definitely Ryan Shattuck, James Kelly on everybody's radar today.
Yeah, I think he's probably come into this race the second favourite, really, overall. Like Alex, you know, undoubtedly the favourite as the world champion coming into this race. But then with people like Hunter McIntyre not here, Michael Sandbag's not here, I think James Kelly is probably rightfully the second favourite for this race, especially as he's raced a couple of times already this season in Australia and performed strongly. And he's leaving this station not far behind Alex at all. And it's worth saying as well, if we think back to that race in Nice, like James ultimately got third spot when for a long time we thought it was really a race between Alex, Michael Sandbag and Hunter McIntyre for that top three. That's what we were focused on. And then James came through in the later stages of the race and claimed that third place. So we know at the end, towards the end of the race, he's really strong. And I know Alex is as well. But it was at the World Championships in Nice where it was at the sled pool where James lost all his time to Alex. So the fact that he's come out largely level and he's just slightly taken the lead here, that's really encouraging for him because the remainder of the race he knows he can compete with Alex.
But look at positions 5 to 9 as well. 4 seconds between Evan Humphreys, Lucas Storad. We got Tobias Loudvine in there as well. Of course, Thomas Twerdik. Incredible racing at the moment. Jonathan Wynn in there as well. I mean, 4 seconds between them, and they're only 13 seconds away from Tim Vanish and Ryan Shattuck. That is a serious race that we're seeing here after the third workout.
Yeah. And just a reminder for everyone, it's top 3 that claimed their spot at the World Championships today. So that battle for top 3 is really on here. Certainly down to the 9th spot where you've got Tobias Loudvine, who can, if anyone can pace a race perfectly, is Tobias, right? He's not necessarily going to be leading at this stage of the race. He comes through at the end like an absolute pro. So yeah, the fact that he's sitting there in 9th, that's really the race is on here.
I'm wondering if Ryan Shattuck might have gone out a little too motivated here with the crowds in Amsterdam pushing him on. The mere fact that he cannot run away from Tim Vanish right now indicates that a little bit. But look at the front here right now.
Ryland's first Hyrox though in like nearly a year. To be sitting 4th where he's struggled with his health ever since really that race in Chicago back in November, I think it was. Like, to be sitting 4th there in that position, he'll be really encouraged by that.
But if you look at 1 minute after 3 workouts between 1st and 13th, there's so much movement possible. Right now, of course, great dynamics in the front for Alex Ronevich and James Kelly. But then if Tim and Ryland can work together well as well back there, that is their big opportunity. They got to feed off each other right now and try to gap Evan Humphreys and Lucas Storad just a little more. Try to open up that gap. And I can't quite see who made the move, but it looks a little bit like Ryland and Tim. There's a slight gap between them right now. And this got to be so frustrating. If you look at it right now, Bo Wills, who's an incredible athlete, getting lapped this early into the race here already.
Yeah, he only actually left the sled pool, 108 behind. He's not out of it by any means. And Bo told me he don't think he's ever been passed on the last 4 stations of a Hyrox race. So it's the latter half where he's particularly strong. So I wouldn't be writing him off yet for that third spot at all.
Look over the shoulder, eyes on the next workout. Back in, that next lap is done. It's time for our 2 leaders. James Kelly, Alex Ronevich on the way towards the next workout. Who's got the better burpees?
I think Alex on his day. But there's not a lot in it.
Oh, and look at the judges. I mean, the briefing was super strict. Very clear. Burpees been made very clear to the elite athletes again, what they gotta look like, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. And they're taking a real close look here. In that first lap, James Kelly not willing to back down a little bit. 1 burpee ahead for Alex Ronevich. And behind that in 3rd place, Shattuck's gone past Vanish. Not by much, but by a little bit, and he does look a little more active, I want to say, in those burpees right now. A little more on point than Tim Weinisch.
Yeah, he's moving through the reps slightly quicker, I'd say. Tim's just some slight pauses. Alex is just opening up a slight gap here on James. It's his long leaps at every jump. Just gains that couple of inches over James.
And of course, you know, just going through our viewers' comments a little bit that we're seeing on YouTube right now. You know, obviously the question is, for example, where's Sandbag? And it's very simple. He says he's not ready yet, and he doesn't have to be. You know, he raced doubles with Tim Weinisch in Stuttgart. They had a very solid race, 4th fastest ever, but Sandbag was struggling a little bit, I want to say. But, you know, he said it with a smile on his lips. So Mike Sandbag, he's going to be back for sure. He's just timing his season slightly differently. His big focus is going to be on the World Championship. And we all know, once he's gearing up, there is no doubt he's going to qualify.
Yeah, on his day, he knows he can get one of those 3 spots at a major. So there's no huge rush. And yeah, like you say, I think they ran a men's doubles in 50 minutes dead the other week. I think he struggled to some extent, but at the end of the day, they still finished the men's doubles in 50 minutes, so he's still in good shape, but I don't think he was quite race ready yet for this race.
And then, yeah, respect. You know, I agree with our viewers out there. Jake Dearden, he just ran Berlin Marathon last weekend, and now he's here today doing the Hyrox. I have absolutely no idea how you combine these two. It's like a 1 kilometer all-out sprint and then those workouts compared to a 42-kilometer marathon, which is incredible. So kudos to him as well, as we're done with the burpees, everybody. And we've got Alex Ronevich opening that gap on James Kelly to 14 seconds. Ryland Shattuck, Tim Weinisch, he lost a little bit of ground there, or a fair amount. Now 28 seconds behind Shattuck, but Alex Ronevich in the lead here. And if we look at last season, you know, he started off quite all right. But if we look at races like Vienna and so on, he didn't have quite the competition and everything, but then he was on point for the World Championship. But he looks incredibly fit and fast right now, first major of the season, as we're getting the head-to-head between Alex Ronevich and James Kelly. Of course, James Kelly slightly faster. Ski erg, the push and pull and the burpees belong to Alex. We've seen that just now, but in the row, slight advantage for Kelly. But looking at the overall, you know, and looking at the time gaps that we're seeing there, other than the Sandbag lunges, Alex Ronevich should have the upper hand.
Yeah, you'd think so. I think if James wants to win this race, certainly he wants to be in the lead by the time he comes into the wall balls. I know he's been working on his wall balls, but Alex is very strong there, and I think he's got the edge over James. What that graphic doesn't necessarily show you is that James seems to be, at the moment at least, like very strong in his running and in the latter half of the race. So, you know, with the gap that they've got at the moment, can James make it up on the runs, even if he can't necessarily do it on all those later stations?
And I hope you're doing the math already with Alex Ronevich out there on the track, because if you've seen the women's race, you've seen what an incredible race it was, how close it was, you've seen the overall times. If you have not, then don't listen for a second here, because we missed the new world record by a mere 4 seconds from Lauren Weeks. Incredible racing, and just a few seconds behind Megan Jacoby. That is a clear indication how exciting this season is going to be on the women's side. And of course, you know, if you look at the performances, for example, from Joanna Wittrich as well, 21 years young, and absolutely smashing it here in 3rd position. So we're going to see her throughout the season as well, as we're seeing Lucas Storat running for dear life as James Kelly is lapping him. Lucas Storat, he lost a little bit of time there at the burpees. He's got the run speed today, which is quite impressive. using James Kelly as a bit of a trainer right now. All right, everybody. Before the burpees, and that just shows you how difficult the burpees are for some athletes. We had the top 13 before the burpees within 1 minute. We now have the top 4 to be correct, within 1 minute, and 2 minutes 11 between the top 13 now. So that gap has opened up properly.
So those burpees clearly separated some of the athletes, and it's the run after can separate them as well. If some of those athletes have been suffering on those burpees, then it often hits you as well in the subsequent run. So it'll be interesting to see what the gaps are like as they come into the row.
All right, Alex Jacoby into the row. James Kelly is right there. What a run again by James Kelly. It was 14 seconds getting out of the workout. It's 2 or 3 seconds now hopping onto the row. And Alex Ronevich just going absolutely ballistic, trying to bring everything up to speed. 2 seconds for James Kelly back. Alex Ronevich opening it at 1:43. James Kelly right now 1:48, 1:47-ish. Alex Ronevich now dialing in his realistic pace of about 1:45-ish in average right now. Towards the later stages, they're going to slow down by about 10 seconds in average, but very consistent rowing by them. And very interesting to see Alex Ronevich, a very slow movement on the way back. You compare that to what we've seen earlier with Lauren Weeks, for example, a lot more smooth that workout. With that, I don't want to take away from Alex Ronevich at all. I mean, 1:45 right now, opening up here. James Kelly, Ryan Shedek, right next to him, Tim Venus and Evan Humphreys. That's the top 5. All right, here we go. That's just the head-to-head between Ronevich, Kelly, and Shedek. Only about 15 meters for Alex Ronevich, and he can't help himself but keep looking over to Kelly. Kelly looking over to Shedek. I mean, it's literally like just eyeing each other as if that would change anything. As if they would go any harder. They know exactly what they're doing. They got their routines, they got their speeds. But, you know, it's a fierce competition out there. So obviously you keep checking, as we see here from Alex Ronevich. Alex just a tad faster right now in the row than James Kelly is.
James will know, though, that he clawed back some time on that previous run as well. So if he doesn't go too silly here on the row and like kill himself for a couple of seconds, then I suspect he'll feel confident that he can pull some time back on the next run.
I love the comment from Owen Cave on YouTube saying, really surprised how inefficient these ergs have looked for a lot of these athletes. Owen, we've talked about this earlier. Maybe there's a great opportunity for a business for you. That's what we said, you know, that's the beauty about this sport. It's fairly young. If you look at how it developed, I mean, the first season, it was your buff gym folks who were really strong. And then more and more endurance athletes transitioned into the sport, and then the running became more dominant. And then now it's sort of like you need to be super strong, and you need to be a great endurance athlete, and you need to be fast. It's that all-around athlete that we're looking for. But if you look at like Alex's swimming background, for example, then Joanna earlier today, she has a tennis background. So different backgrounds these athletes are coming from, and they've got those bits and bobs they're working on year after year after year, season after season to improve. And the improvements, just seeing this first race of the season right now, are incredible. If you look at how much importance, how much focus the elite men obviously have put on running speed and being able to run fast after each workout, the running splits this year here at the major, it's insane how many fast athletes we're seeing.
Yeah. Even not just in this field today, but in the field throughout other Hyrox events that we've already had this season. You can see that people have been putting in an awful lot of work over the off-season to try and get into these major races. We've seen like performances from people like Amy Bevilacqua last week, Maria Fetchik, Kate Davey, who we've already seen but raced in Stuttgart a few weeks ago. They put in some very impressive times already this season to try and get into these majors, try and get into the future majors. So yeah, the field is really, really competitive this year.
And just ignore the graphics right now. Obviously, we don't have a gazillion Ronevich in the race here, but we got Alex Ronevich, James Kelly, Ryan Shattuck out. Tim Venish losing more time on Ryan. Evan Humphreys is getting real close to him now. He's almost there. Last couple of pulls for Tim Venish, though, and then headed out and about 130 meters behind. We've got Tobias Laudwein just about 40 meters ahead of Lucas Storad. That is the real gaps we're seeing right now, with James Kelly down in the split screen there for a second. In the lead ahead of Alex Ronevich, and then we just saw the duel, how close Tim Venish and Evan Humphreys out of the erg, out of the row. So Alex Ronevich, people are wondering why is he in second. He was first out of the workout. Is because he does not carry the Ryland Shattuck soft flask with him. You know, he quickly stopped at the Red Bull bar and had a nice little drink before heading back out on the run course. But yes, I say this jokingly, but honestly, everybody who's done a Hyrox before knows how dry your mouth gets, how terrible it is to run with this dry mouth. It is good to just get a little bit of water every once in a while in between. We see some of the athletes even taking in some sugar, a gel or something in between. We've seen it with Megan Jacoby, for example, earlier in the women's Elite 15 race. And I have a slight feeling there might be some sugar in that soft flask. Thank you very much, Ryland, for telling my story for me in the picture here. Still carrying his soft flask with a little bit to drink. And he is flying again. This is fun to watch. He looks like he's having fun.
Yeah, he does. Looks like he's doing really well on the station. He does. You're right. It looks like he's enjoying it. He's enjoying those runs. Absolutely flying at the moment. I think he's really, really pleased with where he's sitting. It's worth saying as well that these guys are on for a very, very fast time. So we saw it in the ladies' race earlier. But they've left. So Alex left that row at 33.21. That's a few seconds ahead of where Hunter McIntyre left the row in Stockholm, where he broke the world record. So slightly ahead of world record pace here at the moment, even though maybe some of this run course is slightly longer than what we saw in Stockholm, because the first run was shorter. So it's not a like-for-like comparison, but on for a very, very quick time at the moment for sure.
Oh, no doubt at all. And if we're lucky, we're going to see that duel in the front that we have, and they're going to push each other to the absolute limit. James Kelly, Alex Ronevich. This is the duel right now. Alex Ronevich doing what he does. He wants to give James Kelly the feeling, you know, you got nothing on me. I'm here. I'm feeling it. I'm just warming up. I'm not going to let you run away from me. A second ago, you were the faster runner, but look at me now. And James Kelly struggling a little bit to respond right now.
Yeah. Another interesting thing in the men's race in comparison to the women's race, where a lot of the women, we think, can go unbroken at the wall balls, the men don't do it so often, and so it can become a real separator. So even if there is, say, a minute gap between some of these guys, especially in that battle for third spot, that can be actually made up on the wall balls. And if you remember, like we saw it with Graham Halliday in the DC race, he came in, I think, in 5th, 6th spot, and ultimately came in, like, got his spot for the World Championships by doing the wall balls unbroken, and passed a lot of guys on that day. So that's another element that can happen here. So, you know, even if someone's a minute down in that battle for first spot, they can make it up at the wall balls.
And, you know, people were asking, hey, where's John Wynn? Like, why is he so far down? And, of course, Lauren was right down at the grid, and we now know he enjoyed those burpees so much that he figured, I'll just do an extra lap of burpees.
He done an extra lap? Oh, no.
All right, here we go. Ah, look at Shattuck. He's looking great. Power walking it. Through the carry, James Kelly. He is first. Alex is trying to catch back up to him. Again, this is all about, like, you know, a mental display as well, showing you're right there, you're not struggling, I still got you. Oh, look at that. I'm just feeling it. You know exactly what it does to your body, that compression of the weights, just trying to push that upper body basically through your legs, and it's so hard to move the legs, and Alex is trying to make his move here. Again, they need to remember they're not allowed to throw the kettlebells anymore. They need to be put down, handle up, but Alex Ronevich trying to just, you know, he is the world champion, and he's trying to prove this here right now. Again, they're on world record pace right now. Both the kettlebells down 32 kilos in each hand. That's an additional 64 kilograms you're running with. This is, you know, I don't want to make me lighter than I am, but that's almost like you carrying me on your shoulders while you're running.
Look, I mentioned earlier how quick James is on some of these transitions as they go through the rock zone, as he comes out the stations. Look at him, he's absolutely flown past Alex there.
It's almost like the kettlebells just, you know, warmed up his legs. I'm like, all right, perfect. Let's go now. 17 seconds down. Ryland in third place right now. Just remember, everybody, third place qualifies you for the World Championship. And to have that with 2 workouts to go, and now a very sizable lead over the chasers right now. It's looking real good here for Ryland. A man with so much potential. Now Tim Wienisch making his move past Evan Humphries in the farmer's carry, but I don't think it's going to be enough for Tim Wienisch or Evan Humphries if you look at how much that gap has grown.
Yeah, so Tim is, what's that? It's no, nearly a minute, so 54 seconds down on Ryland for that third spot there. Ryland's looking strong on the run, so you know we've obviously not seen him for a long time, but see what he's like on the lunges and on the wall balls. But it's going to be tough for Tim to make that time up on those last 2 stations, especially when Ryland's looking like that. He's looking strong on the runs.
All right, we got 2 more workouts to go. Sandbag lunges. We've seen some serious moves in the women's field at the sandbag lunges. Oh, look at that. Both trying to play it cool out there. But this is the pain train right now. This is the pain train in the lead, with James Kelly responding every time Alex Ronevich is trying to show himself on his shoulder. And they're lapping. They're literally lapping 3rd and 4th right now. No, 4th and 5th right now, with Evan Humphries, with Tim Wienisch. So only Ryland in between them. They're not going to lap him. He's only about 1 length off the lap behind those 2. And of course, we want to see that little move a second again from James Kelly down in the bottom corner. Or actually, first the move here from Alex Ronevich going past James Kelly, but it only lasted for a second. Then another incredible transition there from James Kelly. But here's the move from Alex Ronevich again. I'm kind of tempted to say it wasn't necessary. It was just an attempt, a show of strength.
Yeah, you're right. One thing I was just thinking is coming up to the lunge here. One area where James really made a move at the World Championships, where he gained his 3rd spot, was on the lunges. He absolutely flew through the lunges in these. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does here. Bearing in mind as well that we think that Alex can probably go faster than James on the wall balls as well. So yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, we've seen it in that head-to-head a moment ago between James Kelly and Alex Ronevich. This is the one workout where James Kelly usually has a real advantage. It was more than just a couple of seconds. So he might be able to use this now to pull ahead of Alex, who's got really strong wall balls, without a doubt. But he is seriously challenging the world champion right now.
Look at them moving together essentially here. They've moved very quickly, just stepping through. They're not taking that little pause through. pulls it after each step. They're moving through neck and neck at the moment.
Right, look at the splits here that we're seeing right now. The run, incredibly even. Run number 6. This is where Alex Ronevich lost some serious time. You know, he really struggled there. And the run before, so the last 5 and 6, those were the issue a little bit. That's where he lost a lot of time, or, well, I want to say that's where James Kelly gained a lot of time on Alex Ronevich. It shows how hard it is after those 2 workouts to get back into the run. Each of them lost 20 seconds on, for example, their run after the farmer's carry now.
Is it possible to get back in traffic that we see there, season 23-24 head-to-head?
All right, here we go. Run number 7 and then into the Sandbag lunges. James Kelly in the front, Alex Ronevich, we've seen that. Ryland, he lost another 7 seconds, no trouble there. And then Tim Venus and Evan Humphreys, they're just really, they keep going shoulder to shoulder, about a minute down, so don't be confused about what you're seeing down on the grid right now. So Ryland Shattuck, he is ahead of the other 2, even though it looks like they're next to each other.
And Alex is pulling ahead here of James and moving. It looks like he's moving a bit better. James is taking a slightly longer pauses.
And then we're seeing Tobias Loudwine coming in 6th place. It's very typical for him. He's not a loud athlete on and off the grid. He's just like very smoothly moving through the rings the longer the race takes, the same way he handles him around the venue and in interviews as well. So in a strong 6th place right now, basically right next to Yannick Schabler.
He always performs so well. Like he's been around the sport for a long time, previous world record holder. He can't put in the hours to training that a lot of athletes do into this sport. You know,
so apparently, sorry to interrupt you, Alex Ronevich did not get the memo that he's slower at the Sandbag lunges than James Kelly, because he made up about 5-6 seconds on James Kelly, who for sure is going to close that gap right now. But I think all that Alex has to do is stay with James Kelly, and then he is so strong at the wall balls, and he's mentally so strong. But I'd love to see them both get in at the same time, because again, everybody, well, maybe in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd season of Hyrox, it was okay to just hit the upper board. You now have to hit it center. If it's somewhere off center, it's a no rep and you have to repeat it, and it's gonna be a proper target throw if they're going in there shoulder to shoulder.
So Ryland's left the Sandbag lunges there as well. So what's the gap he's got over Tim? It's quite significant. Yeah, Tim's still moving through the lunges. So Ryland's got a nice gap for that 3rd spot. Now it's worth just highlighting as well that Alex left those lunges at 45 minutes 40. If we look back at Hunter McIntyre's world record in Stockholm, he left the lunges at 45:59. So Alex is ahead of world record pace at the moment.
All right, you heard it first from our man Greg. We might be seeing a new world record here, especially with James Kelly pushing Alex Ronevich. Tim Venus is now leaving the Sandbag lunges. He managed to distance Evan Humphreys a little bit, but look at the gap. Look at how big it's grown. Again, after the 3rd workout, it was a minute between 1 and 13, and then James Kelly and Alex Ronevich with their pace started destroying everybody. And again, every time I say that James is stronger than Alex, Alex proves me wrong. Now, James Kelly is actually losing ground on Alex Ronevich on that run right now. I was just comparing, we're running behind us, just comparing the form. James Kelly is still looking all right, but if you look at the pictures of Alex Ronevich, how stable his core and everything still is, even now Tim Venus coming through behind James Kelly, he looks a little more active, a little more springy right now on that run. One more little lap here for Alex Ronevich, 13 seconds ahead of James Kelly, and then it's back into the rock zone for the final workout, the decision here at the 1st major of the season in Amsterdam.
I think Alex knows at this point that he's pushing for a world record. I think he's like, maybe he's looked at his clock, he seems to have pushed him on this run. Look, this looks like his strongest run yet through the race. So just a reminder that the world record currently stands at 53:22.
You don't see that very often from Alex, that he turns around on the run. He was looking, where's James Kelly? I think he's a little bit surprised. He knows he's making an effort right now. I mean, look at that. Last time around when they let Bo Wills, he was able to stay with him for a little bit. There is absolutely no staying with Alex Ronevich right now. James Kelly, he is gritting his teeth behind. He is not losing time on that run right now. He's passing through right now. I think he might have actually clawed back about 3 seconds on Alex Ronevich. They might just be between 8 to 10 seconds apart heading into the wall balls. The final workout, the decision for the win, the qualification for the World Championship, but also the win here at the major in Amsterdam. And here he goes, your leader, the current world champion from Austria, Alex Ronevich, on the way to the wall balls. And right behind you seen James Kelly, he's coming in already. This is not 13 seconds anymore. James Kelly again running a little faster than Alex Ronevich, who is now arrived at the wall balls. All right, again, everybody, wall balls now, you see those screens. They're a beta testing version, so they're counting the reps, they're counting the wall balls. We still have the judges there. They have the final call if it was a clean rep or not, because what those screens count is how many times you've hit the target, but they're not seeing the squats if it's below 90 degrees. So that is something that can be overruled by the referee. We've seen this just now at Alex Ronevich. There was the no rep, I believe. No, it's still clean. So if you look at the screen, whenever you can see him at the bottom corner, left-hand corner, mid-screen there, you see how many no reps. So if it flashes red, it's a no rep. And then on the left-hand side, you see now first rep just now for Alex Ronevich. He is about 3 reps ahead of James Kelly. This is the decision, this is the showdown. Each of them has 1 no rep. You cannot afford too many of those. So don't be surprised, every once in a while you'll see that the screen switches to the next number, but if there's a no rep, it'll take about 1.5 seconds until it goes back down, and that's why it's very important. At the end, you will see the athletes look at the referee. They need the go from the referee that the last rep was clean and they're good to go. 40 reps for Alex Ronevich. He is 4 reps ahead of James Kelly. Nothing's decided for the win here at the major in Amsterdam quite yet.
So you see the time there, Alex came in at 49.54 into the wall balls. Hunter McIntyre's world record, he came in at 49.56, so Alex only had 2 seconds on him. I think he's got to go unbroken here to do it. It's going to be very, very close.
And I love that question on YouTube right now from our viewers. Talbot Cox, when are we getting Lionel having, doing this? Yes, I will sign that right away. Lionel Sanders doing Hyrox, let him win Kona this year and then end the career. Come on over, do your Hyrox, Lionel. That's an official invite from my end. Look at James Kelly. He is catching back up. 4 no reps for Alex Ronevich. That is costing him dearly right now. He's only 2 reps ahead of James Kelly. In terms of general reps, they're not. Oh! James Kelly, he needs the break right now. He dropped the ball. This is giving Alex Ronevich what he needed, another 4 wall balls that he got in there. James Kelly a little more precise than Alex Ronevich, but Alex Ronevich still unbroken. James Kelly had to break. And of course, I want to see Ryland as well. He wasn't too far behind, but 7 no reps for Shadek already. That is just not good enough, just not precise enough. He's sitting comfortably there halfway through at 50, but the man right now with 6, 7 wall balls ahead, that is Alex Ronevich, the reigning world champion. It's in his hands right now. If he keeps him clean, he's going to take the win here in Amsterdam today. The man with the black cap on James Kelly, needing another break. You can see he's really pushing it. He's leaving everything out there, but he's now 10 reps down. Alex Ronevich, he's going to enjoy those last 5 reps. Another 3 to go for the man from Austria. And we're looking at the official time here. Again, we're going to wait for the confirmation. Here's the rep. He's sent across the finish line, and he's just walking it off right now. Pushed 53.30-ish is what we're seeing here on the race clock. But of course, we want to see what the official time is clocked by our timing company.
Great performance from those two guys there today. Great performance from start to finish. They've really, really pushed each other there.
I mean, James Kelly staying under the 54-minute mark as well. What an incredible race we've seen here. So 53:31 is the time that we're seeing here. Just not fast enough for the world record, which again just shows you how incredibly fast Hunter McIntyre was in that final run lap and the wall balls. And again, it was 4 no reps for Alex Ronevich that cost him time.
Yeah, I think if you take into account those 4 no reps and the fact he's, you know, pretty much walked across the line just there as well, I think without those no reps, he'd have done it. It must have been, yeah, you know, he was only 9 seconds off anyway. Those 4 reps have cost him a world record today, but incredible performance from him.
I love it. Colby Patterson is saying on YouTube, you would have had it if he didn't walk. He did not lose 11 seconds walking there. I think he knew that he was past the world record, so he had time to just enjoy the crowds. That is Alex Ronevich. He's becoming more and more of a showman here within the world of Hyrox. The crowds love him, and he loves the crowds. As we've got Ryland Shattuck, what an incredible race. What an unbelievable opening for him into this major. This run was unbelievable to watch as he was just, you know, blazing across the course here, just running away from Alex Ronevich, who would later take the win here. And now we're seeing Tim Vinish holding off, well, trying to hold off Evan Humphreys, but they both got 8 no reps. That's just too many no reps. And Tim Vinish, he's struggling now, dropping the ball again. He needs that breather, but now he's got 4 to go. Time to push through. Evan Humphreys has taken that break as well, and he's been passed, but it's the duel next to him. Oh, Tim Vinish, he is giving away 4th place with that no rep. Unbelievable. He is giving it away to Yannick Chapla, who came flying from behind, becoming the fastest German in the race here in Amsterdam. I cannot believe that he managed to inch past Tim Vinish, who is across the line now with just too many no reps and too many just little breaks at the wall balls. Tobias Laudwein now across the line as well. And in between Bo Wills, as predicted by Greg, an incredible finish by Bo Wills once again. You know, playing to his strengths here in the second half of this Hyrox grid. John Wynn now coming through as well. Remember, John Wynn doing an entire lap of burpees extra. 1 too many, and still posting an incredible time here. 3:14 behind overall. Wow, but Yannick Chapla, what a finish. The man in the picture here right now. I cannot believe that he managed to stay clear or actually go past Tim Vinish. But everybody, before we head down to Lauren and Greg in just a second, just look at the 2 races we've seen here today. This is the first major of the season. You know, everybody was doing their thing throughout winter. A few of them were racing in Australia, in Sydney, but not many of the athletes we've seen here. And this was the first showing, and we've missed the world record in the women's race by 4 seconds, and in the men's race by 12 seconds. This just shows you how strong this Hyrox season is going to be. This is the first major of the season here in Amsterdam, and very soon, in a month's time, we're headed on to the next one, this time around for the first time in Hong Kong. And with that, everybody, I'm excited to head down to Lauren, who was live at the grid, and Greg for the after show. Let's take it, guys.
Thanks so much, Till. Greg, I mean, we've been treated to 2 unbelievable races this afternoon, and, well, the champ is the champ.
The champ showed up. Yeah, you're right. 2 amazing races, and Alex came out, and we said we thought he wanted to win it. We thought he wanted to put in a time, and yeah, from the very first moment, he went out hot. He wanted to put in a time, and yeah, 2nd best time ever. Unbelievable.
Pretty incredible, and the 2nd best time ever was originally set by James Kelly, who then he beat on that final set of wall balls. The battle between those two, a real treat for us as an audience, but I bet very stressful out on the floor.
Yeah. They both pushed each other on throughout the race. Neither of them let up at any point. We've said many times they haven't got any weaknesses. James is looking so strong on his running at the moment, and that battle reminded me of the battle that the guys had at the World Championships in Nice. It's like so good to see like how strong the field is and neck throughout the race. Yeah, great race.
I actually see the world champion just behind the camera. Come on in, Alexander Ronevich. I mean, you laid down a gauntlet when you spoke to me yesterday. You want the Grand Slam, and what a way to start.
I mean, yeah, we killed the bikes. I killed the Hyrox today. So
all in a weekend's work.
Weekend, yeah. What else to say?
I mean, how much pressure did you feel? It's the first time you've had to defend a championship or have that hanging over you when you entered a race. It comes with so much expectation.
Yeah, that's right. I know, like, having all the sponsors in the back and all the people like expecting something from you. It's a bit of a pressure, but I'm still like, I love Hyrox, I love the race, I love the community. So for me, it's like coming here, just enjoying, having fun, seeing everybody. I love the race. I really enjoyed the race, like seeing where I am at. If I'm ready, it seems I'm ready for the season. First major, win, qualification for Chicago, for the Worlds. Now I'm a bit relieved. I can like focus on getting ready for Worlds. The spot is in the pocket, and I'm really happy with that.
I was saying to Lauren before the race, I think you wanted to come out and get a really fast time, and you want to win all the majors this year. Is that right? Did you go into this race with the intention of not just winning, but putting down a really fast time?
I mean, with being a world champion, like some of the confidence comes with it. So I knew I'm gonna, if I want to make a spot, I need to be just in front, within the podium places. So that was my goal from the very beginning, like stay in front, keep the pace with the fast guys, try to make the pace by myself. I early recognized like the sleds were really light like today, and I knew it's gonna be a running game. I knew like James is a bit of a better runner, especially like on a course here. But I knew I'm gonna crush on the stations, and that's what happened. Like I was like, okay, let's see at the wall balls who wants it more. It was pretty close, but as I saw him like break, I knew like I'm gonna make it today. And I needed like to go unbroken again. I did it again, so I'm really happy. Like the time is nice, but every course is different. I love the racing, so it's always up to that. And yeah, thank you.
It was really interesting, that battle between you and James. From a psychological perspective, we saw you do little overtakes on the farmer's carry. Was that all part of the game to a certain extent?
I mean, I knew he's not like that fast. He's not much faster on the runs, so we played a bit around. I went ahead on the stations, he went ahead on the runs, so it was a back and forth all the time with him. But everything was from my side really under control, and I knew like if I can go on the wall balls unbroken again, and I have the confidence to beat. I don't know how tired I have to be, like I can't do them always every time I'm broken. So that was my game plan, my card at the end, and I played it well today. I saved the spot. That was like the most important thing today, and I did it. I'm really happy with it. Now I can really like focus on preparing for Chicago, and that's what matters, defending my title there.
And we'll still see you at the races?
Sure, I'm coming to Hong Kong. Vegas, not sure, because like a lot of traveling will maybe impact. But if I win Hong Kong, then I'm coming to Vegas.
Well, thank you so much, and massive congratulations. What a great way to begin.
Thank you very much.
Let me take that one from you, and you can go off and say hello to all your friends and family. I saw his better half, probably, follow him around every single station, videoing. It must be so exciting for everyone as this group. You know, when your better half takes the top spot in the first race of the season, doesn't get much better than that.
No. And it's draining to watch like someone you love and support like race this race. It's not just the athletes. It takes a lot out of spectating.
Speaking of men with better halves, here we go, James Kelly.
Here we go, my two favourite people.
Oh, I've just been speaking about Georgie, so you better not say that too much.
Apart from Georgie.
Second and third favourite.
It was an incredible battle, JK. It was one that was won by an Austrian with the narrowest of margins, but you gave him a good push.
I said to him, the first thing I said to him straight after the race was I thought I had him. I thought I I thought I broke him twice after the rower when he stopped for a water break.
The shock in your voice.
And then after the farmer's carry, but kudos to Alex. That's the first thing I have to say. He's come back even stronger than last year, and he's already shown that he's going to be the man to beat for this year.
And you're going to beat him.
Who knows? I just can't wait to race against him again.
I mean, I want to put into context your trajectory, because you were a roll down only 2 years ago in the World Championships. Then you had to make it to the LCQ to get your spot in the World Championships just gone. And now you've landed on the podium, second, almost first, and booked a ticket for this year's World Championships in the first race of the year.
How long we got, Lauren?
I know.
Because I could talk for hours about this, because I've changed a lot over the past 18 months as an athlete, and it's just to do with my support network and the people around me, and being open-minded to different training as well. So kudos to my support network, first and foremost Georgie, who's just like with me through and through. She's not here physically with me tonight, but she was with me, of course, the whole race. And then Anthony Pericini, my coach, who I would not have done what I did tonight without his guidance as well.
You look so strong coming out of the stations, and then even small things between the sled pulls and things like that. Is that something that you've worked on a lot? Because we noticed it in Nice as well. Like your compromise running looks really incredible at the moment.
I'm a big believer, Greg, that there's no such thing as compromise running. It's just running. Take it or leave it, guys. But you know, I've built a really solid foundational threshold ability to run now, if that made sense. And I pride myself on mentally getting after it after each station. Easier said than done, but I pride myself on, as soon as I finish that sled, it's my ability to get back on my threshold pace is something that I cherish, you know, as an athlete. So yeah, yes, I've worked on it, but it's more working up here more than actually working on the actual compromise component. Yeah.
JK, massive congratulations. Awesome to see you absolutely crush the first race of the season.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the Aussie support. 2 a.m. this morning, everyone woke up down under.
No way.
Thank you so much for the support.
Steal that one off you. Go enjoy your evening. While we bring in our third place finisher. And honestly, I've never been more emotional watching someone cross the finish line, Ryland. I'm not sure we really truly got a chance to tell your story to the extent. Maybe you can fill us in on what that meant to you and why it was so important.
To be honest, I'm just going to try and say this without getting emotional. But I'm really confused right now, to be honest. I came to say goodbye to Hyrox because it's been 7 months since I've even run that fast. And I thought I was done. I haven't even cracked like 6-minute pace in most of my workouts for like 7 months. And people who know me really well know that I don't just love Hyrox. I honestly just love racing. And more than racing, I honestly just love going fast. And that's what I miss the most. Like, I know that I'm supposed to say like I love Hyrox. Hyrox is my sport. That's what everyone else usually says, but I just love going fast. I love running fast in the mountains. I love flying. Like, I love speed flying. I love rock climbing, but most of all, like, I love going fast. And for some reason, God took that away for 7 months, and I was like, I came off this ski erg, and on this ski erg, like, I've done ski erg workouts. The last 7 months, I haven't done 500 meters at the pace I just did 1,000 at the beginning of a race. And then I don't know if anyone else noticed, but like I was pretty far back on the first run. I was maybe in 6th, and then hit the skier, maybe bumped up to 3rd or 4th. And then like halfway through that run, I was just praying, and I was just like thanking God, because I hadn't, like, I looked down at my watch, I saw my heart rate was really controlled, my throat wasn't closing off, and I don't have a reason. Like, the breathing techniques that the doctors have given me, I've seen like 6 pulmonologists. I've spent like 15 grand in medical bills. Like, all my prize money from last year has gone to paying doctors, and the best I've gotten is, we think you might have like X, Y, or Z, and then they give me things to do and they don't work. They give me inhalers, they don't work. And then I was just in the race today, and I was just like praying pretty much every lap. I just like closed my eyes and asked God, like, just please let me run fast again. And I got to today. And I'm super confused, because like I had decided before this race, like I was done. Like I can't keep trying to push and push and push and financially like keep coming to these races. I can't justify it if like in a workout I can't even do what people are doing, the pace that other people do in marathon. But now I have a spot for Worlds, so maybe I want to go there, but I don't know about the rest of the races, because like it's hard to go into each workout and feel like I might pass out or my throat just closes. So I don't know what the future holds, but today was definitely a miracle. I give the credit to God, because like you don't not train for 7 months and then like show up and run faster than you ever have. Or I don't even know what my time was, to be honest. I didn't look at my watch. I just knew when I went into the wall bars, I was somewhere around 50 minutes or 51, I don't know. But yeah, I just looked at my watch to see if my heart rate was in control, and God gave me a big blessing today.
Ryland,
so I'm really thankful.
You are amazing. We're about to go to prize giving, but I can't thank you enough for A, choosing to be here, B, sharing your story, and then showing the world that, quite frankly, anything is possible if you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go and enjoy that, because you need to be on a podium, sir. Off you go.
Amazing, well done.
Thank you, Ryland. And here's your final results. Of course, Alexander Ronevich starting his season off with a bang. Kelly and Shadeg booking their ticket to the World Championships in Chicago. And Yannick Chapler, a surprise in 4th, absolutely beasted the final set of wall balls to jump approximately 6 places into that top 4, sorry. That's going to be very exciting to see how he fares with that time, putting him into the majors for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's really helped him for the rest of the season, getting to those majors. Like you said, that's a really solid time, really solid performance from him. He'll be really pleased. Again, he's one of the youngest athletes in this field. He's got a great future.
So, without further ado, let's revel in the moments that matter. We've got a podium, and we have got 3 very special men about to stand on it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting with the men podium winners. In 3rd place, from the USA, please make some noise for Ryland Ryland smashed this race in 55 minutes and 17 seconds. One more time, put your hands together. Ryland for your 3rd podium winner. And in 2nd place, from Australia, make some noise for James Kelly! 53 minutes and 53 seconds. And your major winner, please make some noise from Austria, Alex Ronevich! 53 minutes and 31 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time. Your podium winners for the first major race of the Hyrox 24-25 season. All three have qualified for the World Championships in Chicago, June 2025. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
So very much a podium. Some that we expected, others that took us by surprise, Greg. It feels like it's somewhat the story of the day.
Yeah, that was incredible from Ryland. Like we hadn't expected that at all. He'd said to both of us before the race this was a bit of a goodbye. He'd been suffering with his health so much. He just wanted to look like this one final race. Like he said, he loves fitness. He loves running fast. He loves doing sport. And you could see out there on that second, third run, like he was truly like loving it. He was enjoying it. You could see he felt good. He was running so fast, and yeah, he was loving it. So it's so good. It's such a good story to see him get that third spot today.
And we haven't mentioned him at all, apart from you guys in commentary, obviously, but Alan Humphreys, if he can just shore up his wall balls, yeah. I think the field need to be slightly nervous.
yeah, you're right. And you know, I think some of the field think, oh, you know the names, and you can write off some of the others as not being competition for that top three spot. But Avin showed early on in the race, especially, that he's a real contender. And then we were saying just beforehand that Yannick Chatlow got full spot in the end today. He's another one that's like really come on that you weren't necessarily expecting. So it really opens it up and makes it exciting for these future majors as well now.
It really does. Now, one athlete who perhaps didn't have the debut of dreams in Jake did, but arguably we probably didn't give the full story, and that is that he had been suffering from quite a bad niggle off the back of his 2:30 marathon. He'd gone to see a few physios, but with that only being a couple of days ago, it was going to be a big ask for him to show his true best self out on the floor today. Yeah,
he effectively qualified for this race in Cape Town, then ran the Berlin Marathon a week later. And then it just takes time to recover from that, you know, even without any injuries, just the level of fatigue that causes you, even for someone like Jake, it does affect you, it feels like it caught up with him today. I mean, it was still a strong performance at the end of the day, but it just weren't quite enough to put him in those top spots.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where he goes over the next couple of months with a bit more Hyrox-specific preparation.
Yeah, a bit of rest and a bit of Hyrox-specific. Yeah, it's exciting to see what he could do.
I mean, as we put the men's race to bed, how excited are you and how promising are the next couple of majors going to be with what we saw tonight?
Yeah, it's very exciting from a perspective of seeing like someone like Alex and how fit he is already and what sort of time he could put down in the rest of the season. But then also the fact that, you know, two of the favourites that you'd say is with James Kelly and Alex Ronevich already claiming those spots, really opens it up with 3 spots available in every race, like regardless of how far it rolls down. Really opens it up to the rest of the field. They'll all be very excited to race in these future races.
I'm very excited about that new kind of qualification process, because it does mean that every single race is going to matter. And as you can see, we've got, I'm not sure who they are, but the community getting involved behind us, getting prepped for the rest of the weekend. As we await the women's podiums, you're obviously racing first thing tomorrow. How are you preparing yourself?
I'm going to go home and get some sleep, I think, very, very soon and some race. But yeah, I'm excited to race. It's like 3 big days of age group racing ahead of us. I think a lot of athletes will be excited to see the quick times that have been put down tonight and whether we can replicate those tomorrow.
Absolutely love it. Let's head on down to watch the women as they celebrate their achievements from earlier today.
And in second place, from the USA, give it up for Megan Jacoby. And in first place, please put your hands together for Ronevich. Amsterdam, please, one last time, put your hands together for your podium elite female winners. That sees the end to day number 1 of a 4-day event here at Amsterdam. If you are racing this weekend, we'll see you.
On top of the podium, a force to be reckoned with. Obviously, at the end of the women's race, we were slightly confused by the times up on the board, but it now has been confirmed that Lauren Weeks has set a new world record with a 57.36.
57.36. Incredible. It weren't long ago we were talking about can a woman break 60 minutes in this race and whether or not it can happen. Megan Jacoby was the first to do that, but now Lauren Weeks has run a 57.36 in her opening race of the season. Unbelievable performance, and that beats her previous world record by nearly 30 seconds.
Which, when you consider, I know the Sled's running fast, it was a nice run track with only a couple of laps, but the fact that the standard is increasing by chunks of 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that is at that level. That is a big chunk of time that she's taken off, and I think it's part of the factor is how strong the field's becoming, and she knows she's got that competition. She knows she really has to push herself in every race now.
Well, Greg, thank you so much for all of your time and thoughts. Your double job of commentary and studio pundit. Smashed it. What a way to begin the year.
Nice little opener, yeah.
And also a massive thank you to Till Schenk, the third member of our team. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring you the first major of the season, and of course, there are many more to come. And here's hoping, somewhere along the way, a couple more world records, or at least PBs as well. It's bye for now.